Beautiful people, welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is your girl Adara, and I'm Sharif, and happy Friday, everybody. It is that time of the week. We already have Oscarito and John in the house as well. Justin meeting us early as well. Shout out to the OG Darwin Benson. Happy Friday to you, my man. Pillsbury, let's go as well. Big Kevin Mendoza, Mr. Love Shack, joining us. Good morning to Cairo and Fiddleback. TH, hello. Big Scott H. Shout out to the small cap gapper trader extraordinaire. We got Bora Health. We got Killa Cam. We got Parabolic. James Dell. What's up, James? We got Ludo Kid. We got Damn Bonkzilla's in the house. Solo Christo. So's Canyon. Paul Goodson joining us. Kristen Norman, Insurance Mama. Shout out Insurance Mama. Big Bob Dub. We got Draco. And Travel Buddy DJ Marshall's joining us today, Adara. Brandon Hahn and Rios John 90. We got 2 New York cents and 0 Saskatchewan. Haven't seen you Saskatchewan in a hot minute. Welcome back. Good morning, Adara.
Good morning. How are you this fine Friday?
I am pleased as dang punch because the weather is ridiculous and it's kind of breezy and no humidity. It's more humid in here than it is out there, funny enough. I don't even know how that
And also cold in here at the same time.
A little bit, yeah. Funny enough how that works. Anything you're looking at before we get started?
Yeah, there are 2 things I'm looking at. One, I want to address a proper paradox here saying hashtag mustache mafia, which I mean, sign us up over here. I just had to call that out. Also, it's funny, I saw this comment here, I think from Bonkzilla in the chat. I don't know who it's addressed it to, but saying, please don't get roped into a Tesla trade today. I'm actually pleased as punch to say I already roped myself into a Tesla trade and it took 20 pennies. So I just saw that and I was like, you know what, I do want to like have a little chat. Tesla, I want to clarify here. I was patient with this because I know my biggest issue with Tesla over the last few days has not been being aggressive enough. But I said, Adara, if you just sat down, if you don't know what you want, just wait. So I looked at NVIDIA. I was spellbound by NVIDIA. By the time I look back at Tesla, I say, hey, this is what I wanted. Another wick rejection of the 90 MA. Took it short 20 pennies off that 179 area. Got into 179.80s. Sorry, 179.77s. There we go. A few more pennies than I thought. It's all good. I think we're coiling up here. We did make a higher low. That's why I did not overstay my welcome. But yeah, I mean, Tesla below the 90 MA, a potential push for the 90 MA could be interesting. You also know I'm always looking at GameStop.
Of course.
I think why the GameStop trades work yesterday is because you guys know I always think about stocks like ad nauseum at night. Like my mind is always on the markets, at least partially. And so why I think the GameStop trades worked yesterday is because I treated it like a normal stock. I wasn't like, oh, it's GameStop. Oh my gosh, will it roar? Will it be a kitten? Instead, I was just like, it's a normal stock.
Sure.
So I think that helped, and that's why being not afraid to short yesterday definitely helped me. Shout out to Eminem, not afraid. So we're not afraid to take another stand. And everybody, take these shorts. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I probably will be looking for some shorts on gimme, gimme, gimme. How are you doing?
Good. A couple of trades, nothing really to write home about right now. I'll just cover my softy trade here. This was an attempt, yes, just let's call it that, an attempt to play the range based off the previous high. I was able to scalp 20 pennies quick as you like on that, but got stopped out for the rest on MSFT. MSFT just printed day high, 442.86. So did Goggles, 176.71. Very similar looking chart patterns on Goggles and the soft one today. We'll get to that in a little bit. The other trade that I'm currently involved in right now, it's going to be a hold of $5 or wham, bam, thank you, AMP. We're not going to stay in this one anymore. Look, you heard me yap about $5 on AMC the past little while. So if I'm going to yap about it, got to take it long. You can't see it on the position board right now, but I'm long 507s. I'm 4 pennies out of the money. It's going to have to hold 5. I gave it a couple of pennies of a buffer between it and 5. Doesn't hold, doesn't hold. That's the end of the story. But you know what isn't the end of the story? Where's Big Kyle? Like, I want to know where Big Kyle is. I did this lesson specifically for Big Kyle. I didn't want to tell him that we were doing this because I wanted to surprise him. But he was texting me today about Etsy. He has one hell of a read on Etsy. Yeah. He was pumped about that. So let's get right down to business here. I just got to load up the document that I got to read off over here. There we go. We got it ready. We're locked. We're loaded. We are talking about rounded bottoms. Yes, this is an actual pattern, not anything else. Rounded bottoms is what we're talking about today, and this is a bullish reversal pattern. So let's get right to it. A rounding bottom is a chart pattern characterized by a series of price movements that graphically form the shape of a U. There he is, talking a walk but listening. Shout out to Big Kyle. This lesson is for you, my man. All right, it looks like a U, essentially, a really wide U. Rounding bottoms are found at the end of extended downtrends, and what they signify is a reversal in the long-term price movements to the high side. This pattern's time frame can vary from several weeks to several months, but it's also fractal, so you can use it intraday, which I know is what the majority of us, why we're here. Volume and price will ideally move in tandem, and volume confirms the price action. We'll get to more of that. So let's get right down to it, to the first slide over here, understanding the rounded bottom. First things first, the U-turn shape. That's what it looks like. The rounded bottom gets its name from its distinct U-shaped appearance on the chart, and that's really what it's about. And the formation process, this is another very important part. It emerges after an extended downtrend. So you need lower lows and lower highs going diagonal and to the right generally, okay? The price action steadily declines. It reaches its low point, right, which is the bottom of the U, and then begins gradually ascending to the high side. So what you're looking for after that bottom part is incrementally higher highs and higher lows. They don't have to be huge in terms of movement, but they have to be incremental. I got stopped out of AMC. Sucks to be me. This is kind of what it looks like right here, okay? So you see, this is the downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. You make a general low over here. It doesn't have to be a very pronounced middle of the U. It could be, you know, multiple tests at the same area, but then you start making incrementally higher highs and higher lows. And this, very importantly here, is the neckline. We'll talk more about this neckline because that's where you're going to take the trade, okay? We'll get to that, but I just want to show you the shape. So two things, downtrend, then incrementally higher highs and higher lows. So why the rounding bottom matters? Like, what are we getting out of this pattern other than a possible trade? What is it telling us? Well, number one, it's telling us an upcoming reversal is more likely than not, right? So the rounding bottom acts as a potential trend reversal signal, suggesting a shift away from downtrend to uptrend. That's important, if you ask me. And it's also indicating to you a shifting sentiment. Their appearance indicates a potential inflection point, essentially, where buyers start accumulating, overpowering sellers incrementally who had dominated so far on that downtrend, down and to the right. Then the buyers start taking over. You can also have a period of consolidation within this rounded bottom too. It doesn't have to be always curved, okay? So how do I identify these rounding bottoms? What are we looking for here? So number one, we're gonna confirm that the price action prior to the formation of the pattern was a downtrend, down and to the right. You can use moving averages, you can use trend lines, price action analysis, whatever you wanna do. Just confirm that the preceding trend was down and to the right. Then you're going to start looking for a curved bottom, right? Where you were making lower lows and lower highs, essentially. And then there is a middle part to that where it kind of was like where the winds of change started coming, and then you started making higher highs and higher lows. So you're looking for that curved bottom, okay? There's also, it could look like a period of consolidation as well. And then you're looking for the formation of the neckline. Very important here because this is where you're going to take the trade. So as the price climbs, it faces resistance at a specific level. This level roughly corresponding to the horizontal line that goes across the top of the rounded bottom. This is called the neckline. Let's get to some examples right here. Okay, so this is a downtrend yet again. This is a different chart than the one I showed you. Downtrend, then you start making the rounded bottom, that semicircle level, and then you got a previous crest before you started making the lower lows and lower highs of the rounded bottom. Off that crest, you're gonna chart the neckline. And if you have more price action support or resistance prior at different levels at the same level, all the better. And then you're going to draw that horizontally, and that is going to be where you're going to be looking to take the break, okay? And you'll notice that it broke out of that neckline and came back and retested the neckline. That's another check mark. That makes it even better when you have a break of a resistance level, you clear it by some distance. In this case, it looked like 30, 40 bucks, and then you come back and test it. That's another check mark you're throwing right there. Now, this is kind of, it may resemble a cup and handle, and that's why I want to show you kind of the similarities between the cup and handle and the rounded bottom. Because once you break through the neckline, you don't have to go parabolic up and to the right away. There could be a moment where at that neckline, that key area of support and resistance, where you just move sideways, consolidation sideways, right? And then you get a continuation move, and that's what we see here. So very similar looks between the cup and handle and the rounded bottom. Some would even argue that they could be very much the same pattern. I would argue differently. All right, so how do we trade these rounding bottoms, right? So number one, we're looking to get in here. Look, you can trade it however you want. You can get in at the higher highs and higher lows in the U shape and then go to the neckline and get out. You want to do that, that's great. But today we're talking about a breakout trade. So our trade here starts through the break of the neckline. So a break out above the neckline, that is your key signal, the decisive breakout above the neckline with a closing price definitively higher than that resistance level. This is suggesting a potential trend reversal. That's what you're looking for. First and foremost, that break above the neckline decisively on a closing basis. And then you're going to look for the volume to confirm that, right? So you want above average volume on the breakout candle above the neckline. What's above average? Have a look at the U, the rounded bottom. Compare the volume bar of the breakout candle to the volume bars contained within the U-shaped pattern. Is it above average? Yes? Check. And then your entry and your stop loss. You're going to enter the trade shortly after the breakout confirmation, and then you're going to place a stop loss order just below the point of the rounded bottom. That's going to be your stop there. So here it is depicted very clearly. You've got the rounding bottom over here. You have your neckline as contained by that green line right there. You get a decided break of the neckline. You come back, you test that same neckline again, and then you move back up. Your stop goes here. Your entry is over here. I know that you might want to pause it if you guys want, because this is kind of written small. I didn't draw this, but if you want to have a look at that, you can pause it. So some additional tips. Pattern measurement. I love this because this kind of gives you an idea of where to take profit, your profit target. The depth of the rounding bottom. So what I want to show you is this. So from the neckline to the middle part of the circle or the semicircle right there, that is your depth. And the reason that this level here from the neckline to the semicircle is important is you're going to project that up above the neckline, and that's going to be your first beak wetter in that general area up there, okay? So you're going to measure from the neckline to the bottom of the rounded bottom, and then you're going to project that up from the neckline. You're going to be looking to wet your beak around there. So the depth of the rounding bottom can sometimes offer clues about the potential upside move. Traditionally, the measured height of the pattern from the bottom to the neckline is projected upwards from the breakout point to estimate a target for the uptrend. Secondly, time frame awareness. Rounding bottoms can form on various time frames. They might take weeks or even months to develop. Consider the time frame when setting your trading strategy. And last but certainly not least, confirmation is key. You should be looking for the winds of change. How can you look for the winds of change? By using momentum indicators that show you where the momentum is heading. Is it picking up or is it slowing down? These aren't gauges of direction, but they're gauges of momentum, and that's what you're looking for here because we were in a downtrend. We're looking for the uptrend to start, so you could be using things like the RSI or the MACD to gauge momentum and the potential overbought or oversold conditions are there.
Yeah, thank you so much for going over that. And I think it's interesting too, they have how I like the fact if you retest those levels, it's really based on the whole idea of like support and resistance flipping, right? So I think that's a really cool look. There's so many different ways as well with that cup and handle pattern to view and interpret a rounded bottom. So with that in mind, I actually want to address a trade that I'm in short that I know some people in the chat were saying this actually looks like a rounded bottom. I don't think it is yet, but I think it could be. Tesla. Let's talk about it.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm still in Tesla. I know, and I guess I keep getting, I saw this terminology in the chat earlier, thought it was funny, roped into these trades. Yeah, I think with Tesla though, every time I think it's not gonna give me anything else, something in the book pops up and says, Adara, hi, how are you doing? Want to trade me? And I'm like, Tesla, we've been through this dance. And it's like, Adara, are you sure? And I'm like, well, I'm not. Let's get involved. There we go. We're out. Okay. So basically, why I got back in this short? Basically, every short I've taken on this is okay. We could have gotten lower, but it's fine. Every short I took on this was basically just seeing every time we try to climb above that 179.25 is I think kind of the cutoff. Tesla's like, I don't really feel like it though. So yeah, I've basically been shorting all those pops. I've had 3 shorts in this. Yeah, okay, so I want to clarify. So this, yeah, because this first blue candle here, this is from the second short. Then I got involved in the third short at the top of that candle. Basically, what I'm risking into here is 179.30s because we've not been able to get anywhere near 179.30s with that hustle in our spirit. That being said, and it's funny, as I typed this in the chat, I was like, oh, Tesla's still having lower highs and lower lows, so I got out of this short. And then Tesla's like, Adara, what are you talking about? And tried to climb back above 179, but I noticed it couldn't hold 179.20s. That's why I shorted again. I think we are trying to have higher lows. If we break below 178.90s, that's like, okay, maybe the short's still on here. But again, I'm only shorting the pops. That's what we do over here. Or that's not what we do, but that's what I do. And as I say that Tesla continues to break lower, yeah, guys, I think Tesla could, I think at some point has sort of the forms of a rounding bottom, but we had all these topping tail candles. We're really struggling with the 90 MA. I think, yeah, as Shreve always says, balance of the evidence. So I think right now, the balance of the evidence is saying Tesla might have a little bit more downside move in it. Also, maybe having some more downside move in it is GME. Thanks to Neil for getting me the shorts on this one. I think this 28.50, 28.60 level is kind of interesting with these topping tail candles and the 90 MA rejection. This is to be slightly lower low. I don't have anything huge telling me I want to trade this, but something Neil said in the show a couple days ago that resonated with me is it's better to have the shorts and not use them than want them and not have them. So that's what I am going to do. Yeah, lots of people looking at Tesla long. I would say we need that 179 to form as a clear base, not just on the chart, but also in the book, because right now we don't have that. And I was just going to say Apple looks like a tasty short, and then I see someone is chewing on that Apple to the outside. How are you doing?
We're trying here, Adara. I mean, it's been a rinse and repeat short off the VWAP area. Doesn't mean it's going to continue by any means. So in it at the moment, short 65s, looking to wet my beak at 42s. We'll see what we get, and we won't get upset. The out is going to be at 83. So if it breaks and continues to head higher, I'm out at 83, and then we'll look to do something different. So right now, like a couple of pennies out of the money, 2 pennies out of the money on this trade. So we'll see how it goes. But I gotta shout out your Tesla trade. I like this range. It's got that hockey stick pattern to it, which is like awfully bearish here. It's been rejecting umpteen amounts off the 10. So I mean, what could go? I mean, why would you not be taking that trade? So shout out to you. I'm also looking at goggles and the soft one. For a previous bounce off previous resistance. What am I talking about? Well, they're very similar charts today, and I won't be convinced otherwise. Here we go. This is an interesting area. This 442 on the soft one, and it's also got that 10-period support there as well. I'm looking for a previous area of resistance, this double top at 955 and 10, to now act as support. And look what you're getting here with goggles, kind of that same look, where it's moving up and then using that previous double top at 955 and 10 as that level of support there now. Previously resistance, 176.50 on goggles, I would guesstimate to be that range. I wet my beak on some profits here on AAPL, but definitely not out of the woods on this trade. It is still trading at the higher end of the range. My line in the sand on this trade is going to be 83s. If 83s breaks, that doesn't mean I won't get back into it. It just means that, you know, maybe my timing was a little off with respect to my entry, which is fine. Because it's a hard business we're in. So anyway, next beak wetter, I'm looking for 42s. Let's see what we get, and we won't get upset. Let's see what else is popping off here. The Zon, shout out to the Amazonian who's sitting to my right, baby. He did a hell of a job with, yeah, just shouting you out. Yeah, it's ranging. I was just about to say that, Obe. Yeah, the Amazonian is confirming what I believed, is that the Zon is in a very, very tight range here. I mean, it's a $183 name, and we've got a 183.54 top and a 182 32 bottom, and I would submit to you that that IB low is an outlier. The majority of the prints are rejecting off that 182 3/4. That puts us in a 75 penny range on a $183 name. Do the math. That's very tight. That obviously means, you know, there's not a whole lot of interest in this name today. It's done 7.75 million shares. I don't want to disrespect it, but yeah, looking like a bit of a tougher trade. Apple coming into the top end, and I am now, I'm long Apple. Oh God, I gotta clean these. I gotta clean these stops up. All right, so I have to get out of this trade because this was an incorrect stop here that I had. So let's see if it actually holds. No, I don't want to take this trade. This is stupid, Sharif. Get out. So we'll get out of that trade. So we end up going a little red on Apple because of that fat finger, but that's okay. We're gonna figure out, and we'll get back in somehow, some way there.
Yeah, I'd love to say that I was doing anything in those 3 minutes other than staring at NVIDIA with bated breath. That would be a lie, though. We don't lie here on how to trade. I was staring at NVIDIA with bated breath for the amount of time. Also, I like that Amazon zone as well. It's a nice zone there on the zone. Yeah. But yeah, I want to shout out OB as well for this NVIDIA trade this morning because that was awesome. That was a great look. I tried to go long NVIDIA here at the 90 EMA. I stand by this attempt. Basically, my thesis was I liked that we were kind of sitting on the 90 EMA. I thought we were kind of near this 131.60 area. It looked like a nice bounce. And NVIDIA was like, what are you talking about? I risked 20 pennies, lost. It was all good. But right now, I watched what we did on the book, and the way we bounced off of VWAP was gorgeous. And having figured the trigger, I was like, Tara, wait. Yeah, I shouldn't have waited. I should have taken it. That's my one thing is I need to, when I have ideas I like, I need to take them with the respect they deserve. And I need to be like, get involved, get involved. NVIDIA, don't love this topping tail candle, but I do think we have some kind of bounce here. We are rejecting at 131. I'm trading this. I don't know what direction yet, though. And either way, it's going to be a, say it with me, scalp. That's how I'm going to be trading this name. So there we go. GME kind of getting choppy and shiny below that 9 EMA. That might have to put my shorts to good use there. Tesla, which as Sharif was kind of saying, one of the ranges of the day alongside Amazon. Tesla trying to push higher. Like I said, 179.30 is my no-go zone for the short. So if we break above 179.30 here, that will be a, say it with me, no-go zone. If we, oh yeah, okay, and as I say that, Tesla pops 10 pennies. Tesla's like, Adara, stop shorting me, please. Like, just call it quits. So there we go. That being said, we've wicked up as high as 179.50 and sold off. I just don't feel comfortable shorting it with that nice pop above the 9 EMA. I'll maybe take a bounce off of the 9 EMA, but like I said, scalp city, and everything I will be doing will be based on what I see in the book. Speaking of the book, I have the book open for one, Tempest AI, TEM, to see when that IPO pops to the upside. Boeing rounded bottom on the 5 minutes, says Kyle Burdett. Yeah, I agree. Started to big, Kyle. Yeah, we have this also, this gorgeous, this is no counterfeit titanium here in this wick to the downside here at 177. And again, to clarify, they are not saying there is counterfeit titanium, but they're saying they're investigating counterfeit titanium for Boeing and Airbus. So I want to clarify that story.
Okay.
There might not be titanium. Shout out to that song from like 2011.
I remember that.
That was an iconic song.
Yeah,
okay, I'm not going to apologize.
Summer banger.
Also, I was seeing, there's some analyst saying Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter is going to be the song of the summer this year. They're saying it's an early contender.
Well, look, I'm not going to say anything, but there is a person at one of these desks over here who said that the song was stuck in their head and they couldn't get it out.
I wonder who that might be.
The Obe, the one, he is the Kenob. Shout out to him, man. I love Obi. Yeah, he's a banger. Look, man, it's stuck in my head too. I'm not. It may or may not be on the summer playlist.
Yeah, it was featured on.
It may or may not be on the summer playlist today. It is. Yeah,
it was featured on the Washington Post quiz I do. They were like, "What song is the song of the summer?" And then you had to go.
No way. Is it a me espresso though?
Well, that's not what the quote was they used.
She is so lively and
espresso?
Energetic. She's the espresso, Adara. Yeah, she's got so much energy. Okay, all right, let's get back into trading here. I got stopped. Okay. Her new song is better. Please, please, please. Ram, the position board is wrong. I'm not short Apple at that level, so I just want to point that out. That if we want to restart that position board, because I am not short. Look, guys, I don't have a read on these markets. I got to tell you the truth. We're awfully consolidative here, save and except for a couple of names. Really, Google and Microsoft and NVIDIA obviously are going. Tesla was going to the downside, but it's become awfully consolidative as well. I'm not going to trade these levels. I don't feel like I have a good read on them. So let's get into the small cap gappers. There's a lot of those today, so let's get to them. Longevron still in play and above VWAP at the moment. Look at this. So VWAP here at 358. The only issue with this is that when it does break out, it has a whole lot of individuals looking to short, especially in front of 4. As you can see, there are lots of topping tail candles. The top end of the range on this name is characterized by topping tail candles. You can't make that argument for the bottom end of the range. We don't have too many bottoming tail candles at the bottom end of the range. That tells me that there's a whole lot of exuberance to short this at the whole dollar level. Careful with that if you're taking the breakout trade. Try to get a better price in order to get away from those topping tails. The other thing here, look at this, KAVL. This is really respecting the 20. Bless you, Ram. The 20 on the 5. I would submit to you that this is probably a price action support at 4 3/4, owing to that top end of the area over here that we had in the pre and then right into the bell. This one started moving about 15 minutes before the bell, and the top end of the range was, you guessed it, 4 3/4. Now look where the bottom end of the range is, 4 3/4. Trying to hold 5 right now, but at its lowest, 4 3/4 holds up on KAVL, up a cool, a measly, a light 270% on the day. I am kidding, of course, that's bigly. The other one, CNSP, broken below VWAP now, but doing its darndest to kind of get back above there, topping tail at 675, and that's where VWAP is. This one also seemed to adore, whatever, the 20 on the 5 over here, and it does end up finding support at that 5 3/4, rounding now into 7. It just took 6 3/4, so it's above VWAP right now. CNSP doing things. This thing here is minuscule, okay? And by minuscule, I mean $1 2/3 million market cap, okay? The float, 216,000 shares. That should give you an idea of the illiquidity of this name. It could probably move dollars at a time here, so just be careful. It's done 5.5 million shares, but CNSP is a minuscule float, and you need to be apprised of that before you trade it. The short float, it's not bad, 1.75%, nothing really to write home about there. So that's that one. XXII was decent until, just recently, until it broke down below VWAP, up 25%. Couldn't break through $1 on a closing basis. That dollar trade there was met with umpteen amount of short selling, bringing this one back down. AMC and GME, I'm keeping them on the side, but nothing on them at the moment there.
Yeah, GME, and it's funny because I was looking at this level and I liked it, then I realized I think this is the same level that Neil took long, so I think that could give it even more confluence. That level is going to be 28.25. I think he took 28.28. Shout out to Eidetic Memories. But yeah, I want 28.25. Yeah, sorry, slight humble brag there. But yeah, we're going to have to see what we do here. Why do I like this level? Okay, we had all this little chop and turn here, right? Over here, we get it again, then we get it again. We're below the 90 EMA, my favorite level. So that's what I like. You know what? Okay, the one thing I don't like is this bottoming tail candle. That's what I'm gonna have to be cognizant of. But you know what? We're gonna do this. We're gonna get part in at 19. We're gonna get a smaller piece in at 28, because why not? And then we're gonna be risking into 45s, which is this level, 45s, 50s, this level over here. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. I can survive with that. We're gonna do that. Also, I want to talk about my main short I have going on here because I think I should address it. Its name is NVIDIA, and I'm happy with how this is going over here.
Nice.
So basically this is like lower than I thought it was. Perfect. So what I was doing here is I knew we had that bounce off VWAP. I tried to get that long off VWAP, didn't get it. Was a little bit down in the dumps, but then I was like, Adara, if you're seeing on the book these lower high, like the high, I told you, we struggled with that 131. That was something I'm going to add to this position here because I like that. We're going to watch what we do. Okay, yeah, I'm adding. But so basically what I've been doing is every time I see a lower high on the book, I'm adding to the position, then I'm scalping it out at 60s. And then once we get that flop, not saying we'll have a breakdown at VWAP, but I will say we've been coiling beautifully towards one. I'm okay with that. We're going to be getting out some more here at 61s. We're going to be taking out 40% of the position here. Basically, yeah, just getting in, getting out. This has been not the scalp of the century or anything, but just this has been like the type of thing that I need to be doing with my life. I feel energized. I feel invigorated by this trade. Sorry for the speed here, guys. I am very relaxed, but I mean, these markets this is the me espresso, is these markets. These markets are my GME espresso.
Okay.
It was better in my head. But yeah, it's all good here. NVIDIA, keep having those breaks lower, keep having those pushes lower. Basically, I was seeing lower highs in the book, so we get to 131, then we get to 131.90, 131.80, now, or sorry, 130.80, now we're at like 130.77-ish. So every lower high I see in the book, the more I am smiling. If we break above 131, I am breaking out of that NVIDIA. But right now, we're just hanging out here. We're just chilling. GME, if you want to give me that fill, which I don't think you will, I'd be okay with that too.
GME. Can you do something for me?
Can you get to 28.19s for me? Your thing. Okay, sorry.
All right, it's all good. I'm the one that started it. Just took a little beak wetter there on the soft one. We're long at 90s. It's printing 20s now, so not, oh, wow. Holy cow, that just came down really aggressively. And what was that? And then right back up we go again. That's... I just got a whole lot of sensory perception. Microsoft just tanked. Obi got all excited. I'm like, why is he happy that my position's out of the money? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking, dog. No, I'm nicely in the money on the soft one here. Looking for a recovery near that $0.50. If we can hold 442, this will be an interesting level on Softy. It's been the stronger-ish name on the day, not percentage-wise, but chart action-wise, not that bad. So looks like goggles is a lot better, though. 176.99 right now on the goggles. Go soft one. There we go. Nicely in the money now. 35 pennies in the money. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. We're greedy. Let's see if we can get something. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that out loud, right? Because the market hears me today, and it doesn't like
it's going to be bad if the market hears
you. Yeah, exactly. We're going to put our beak wetter there. We're going to hang out there. Guys, I want to remind you every day that you got to vote. If you don't vote, you don't get a say on the afternoon rundown now. It is your time to shine. If you guys want to see how OB traded NVIDIA, then go and vote for NVIDIA. It's exclamation point, the word join, space, $, and the ticker NVDA. If you want to see what Neil was doing there today, I'm not sure what he traded, but go in and have a look at what you want Neil to analyze. If you want to see what, GME or how GME and AMC would have been traded by the big boys today, go and vote for that, Ram. And have your say every day on the afternoon rundown right now. And if you want to see what Google is doing, go in and vote for that as well. There we go on the soft one. What? Bang! There, yeah, I did, because I know that when you hit a new, a new animation on the stream deck, it cancels the one prior to it. All right, we got filled Ram at that 44244 on MSFT. That's a nice 54 penny winner there. We took that quick dip into the 20 period. But look, I want to tell you why I got into this whole thing here with the soft one. This is a price action resistance area. We couldn't break through it. We curl up, we come back down. Lo and behold, we hold the same area that was previously resistance. We hold it now as support. I only lament not having taken goggles, because goggles gave you a bigger upside move, but that's neither here nor there. You gotta be grateful for what you get. So I'm seeing a lot of sound waves today, Adara. I'm seeing it on Apple and I'm seeing it on Amazon and a little bit on Tesla here, even though Tesla is starting to do a little bit of a topping tails into 180. I don't know what your look is on that.
Oh, believe me, I saw those topping tail candles and I said, Tesla, Della, where are you going? Yeah, right now from Delaware to Tesla over here.
Della, where are you going?
I don't know. It's puns, guys. I don't know.
Wow, I love it.
We're out of a third of GME. Give me some shorts after midnight. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this goes. I want to be cognizant of the fact that this could be as low as we go. Why? Well, look at these bottoming tail candles. I had a scotia skepticism going into this trade, which I did kind of mention there. But, happy to have a third out. I de-risked. I'm not adding any more to this, to be clear. This is where, or for now, to be clear, if I see more on GME that I like, I'll get involved. And I want to clarify as well, I am not inherently a GME bear. I am just generally a short bias day trader, and I'll trade in whatever direction. So gimme. Let's also get another, give me another beak wetting level here before I leave. It's going to be right below 28s. We might get it, then we'll be saving a tiny piece for a tiny dream, which is going to be no lower than 2780. Also Tesla. Tesla, yeah, Tesla's like, oh, Adara, you wanted that drop. So funny story, I already gave it to you. So like I said, Tesla, I still do think this is a downward move for now. I'm gonna be honest, I know we had what looked like at one point a rounding bottom with that higher low, but then we kind of lost it. Right now, this range is still intact. We need to be paying more respect and more attention to this range. I want to shout out your Microsoft though.
Thank you.
A nice look there. Also, I'm out of NVIDIA, which I should probably mention.
Oh, yeah.
So basically what happened was we had that move down there in the markets that Obi and I were cheering for. It was like, what, Microsoft? So yeah, sorry, again, I was not cheering for the downfall of Microsoft. I was just like, yay, NVIDIA. Basically what I said was, this is kind of what I wanted. We broke into 50s, I got out. Please just punch with that trade. Also, I want to look at Apple for NESA. Apple, I think NESA was like, oh, any levels here on Apple. I think what's interesting here is look how we're now, that initial top here at 213.60, now becoming a bit of a, look where we're bouncing here off the 90 MA. I think that this could be a support resistance flip here in NESA, 213.60 from resistance to support at the 90 MA. I call that confluence. Actually, I know Obi does, but it is confluence. Also, though, I will be watching out for this level here, 213.85. That was a bit of a resistance level earlier, and we seem to be having some struggles with it. Hope that helps, Nessa. Hope you were having a great trading day. GME gave me another fill. So, gimme. Yeah, I'm happy here. Just trying to take these shorts and have a good time on the markets. That was a weird send-off. But vote, guys, if you want to see GME, if you want to see NVIDIA, if you want to see AMD, if you want to see Microsoft. We know what tickers are. You know what ticker you like. So you put that ticker in the chat, exclamation point, join, $, that ticker. And then the big kahunas will cover it. And we will have Sharif on the green screen with his mustache, which, again, I feel like I must remind you is not a ticker.
I love it. All right, I got a couple of things I want to say here. I'm very interested in a long at 130-ish, low 130-ish on NVIDIA. I'm looking for a top-end defend and a whole dollar defend there, the $10 defend. So I'm looking long NVIDIA near that 130. I just want a better price. That's number one. Number two, we're putting in higher lows on the dead one Apple with a consolidation top of around 213.75, 214 area. If that breaks on a closing basis, I'm going long Apple. So two trades I want to do right now. One is looking like it's coming in quicker than the other. NVIDIA's already bouncing up here, and I'm seeing multiple bottoming tail candles on the 5-minute look at NVIDIA to defend this 130 area. I feel like I don't have a good entry on it because the entry would have been in the third of a dollar or the quarter of a dollar. Now we're talking about 2/3. So if I get in here and I have a stop below 130, then I'm risking a lot. I'm displeased about that. So I'm going to try to weasel my way into this trade somehow, some way, somehow. I think that, it behooves me to sit with a resting order at an area that I like better. It's just really going to be guessing here. This is all that it is, guessing where this thing comes down. So I'm putting an order at 45s. It's going without me. It's going into the 3/4. I kind of had that feeling. We'll see if it ends up moving up, but I'd like 130-ish general area, mid, low, something like that on NVDA. Bottoming tail candles, 130 defend. That's the look. Apple not ready to go yet in my humble estimation with respect to the higher lows. You can see these higher lows being put in with that kind of consolidation area top. It looks a lot cleaner on the 5, but in any event, I'll be looking to go the breakout trade on Apple. I haven't had success with the range trade today on Apple. You see I got cut up umpteen amount of times. I just haven't had the right read on it. So I'd rather just switch to what I do a little bit better, which is breakout trading. So we'll see what I can get here with the dead one, AAPL, and what I can get with NVDA. Alas, I still have not gotten filled on NVIDIA at that third of a dollar. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going long here with smaller share size, and we're just going to go long at this level, and we're going to have to DCA into this because I like this level into that 130 area. So hence going smaller share size here allows me to kind of hold this against me a little bit more than I would like. Yeah, so we'll see. What's going on, Obi? Apple just tanked down to 213.10. Here comes 213 again on the dead one. We know that there is a general area. It's not exact. It's an area. Go to Obi's chart. Oh yeah, it's incrementally lower highs, lower highs. It's a bit of a compression pattern, actually. Good call there, Obe. I didn't even really notice those lower highs. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. So yeah, looking for low C's, whether we get price action support here. It's been bouncing off 213 general area, 212.80s, you know, in and around that. Eh? Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good possibility. I'm gonna look to go long at 213. I will sit at 05s and see what I get, and I won't get upset. Let's go NVIDIA. NVIDIA still dancing at that $0.75. Nothing doing there. What's your look, Adira?
Yeah, I am still shorting Tesla. I know I feel like this is an unpopular opinion here, but okay, not short Tesla anymore. Sorry guys, I was not prepared for that. Tesla dropped into, I got out 38s. I was happy to take Tesla at like 60s. Tesla's like, Adira, do you want more? Because you've been so patient with me. And I said, yeah, I'd be okay with that. So Tesla, sorry guys, I'm kind of delirious. I took 60 pennies on Tesla with the rest of that position. This first fill took like 20 pennies again. I was trying to scalp here into that 178.80, and I think this is one of the biggest things with like having conviction and believing in yourself. I know the Tesla short, I know, like, you know, I appreciate Sharif as well saying this hockey stick pattern. What I see as well is 2 consecutive bear flags. We had this move down, move down, move down. So let's see here. If we come back and reject this bottom of 178.70, I actually find 178.80 is more enticing. But if we come back, I'll take that short again. Again, just taking shorts off the book, seeing stuff I like. I need to breathe. That was a fun trade, though. Sometimes these trades wake you up a little bit. There are the espresso in the markets. So let's take a look at GME, which I did get out of. Could have gotten out of here a little bit lower, but I said, you know what, Adira, we were seeing a little bit of reluctance to go lower than 28. So I said, Adira, take your 28, say thank you, GME, and make your exit. So there we go. GME, Tesla, NVIDIA, pretty much the only names I have looked at all day. That being said, that Apple range is spicy. That's a nice, you know, little Apple there. Also, shout out to you for NVIDIA, because I think that's that.
Well, the Apple's a better trade right now. So we have 05s. We just got our beak wet there at 20s. Looking to get more at 25s. We'll see what we get. And we will not get upset. I have put my order already on NVIDIA to wet my beak or to get stopped out. So this trade on Apple, it was the range trade. I said I wouldn't range trade it, but that 213 was just too dang delicious to not want to take it. And right back into that 213, mid-20s we go. If we cross that 25s, then I'll get printed. There we go. We get the print again on Apple. So now we're done that trade. Decent trade there. But the one that we need to concern ourselves with, definitely, I'm long softy here at these levels. And this was not a planned entry. That was a stop. So we're going to get out. But funny enough, we just took 20 pennies on that softy trade. So maybe it is my lucky day. We'll see. The trade that is not going my way right now is NVDA. And it is definitely, you know, not moving back in the way that I thought. My line in the sand is going to be that $0.25. So we'll see exactly what we get with NVIDIA here. But nice little trade there on Apple to kind of just get things started. Oh, and it continues to move up into the $0.33. So I should have definitely held that a little bit more. All good. We'll keep eyes here on NVIDIA, but it's making lower lows and lower highs, and this concerns me. Okay, so let's have a look a little bit here and do some charting. So these bottoming tails, you know, they tell you something. That's the whole point of bottoming tails. It means that there's buyer exuberance at that level. In addition to that, it is a former area of price action resistance, albeit in the pre, that was around 835 and 840 when we topped out there at 130.40. How much volume did we do there? Well, on this 5-minute candle, we printed 280,000 shares. On this one, 333,000. So definitely not millions like we're printing right now, but definitely decent amount of shares. It's still in the 40s. If it breaks $0.25, that's it. So it looks like I'm going to get stopped out as it comes back into the lower 40s there. All good. We're long at 59s. So if it doesn't hold the $0.25, that's gonzino. Apple just dropped again, right back down. So let me cancel. I had my I got to clean up that stop. All right, good. So it doesn't stop me out super quick there. Let's go. Apple, yeah, let's get rid of that. Good. And just make sure all my stops are cleaned out here. What is this one? What is this stop? Oh my God. Okay. I think I just got stopped out of NVIDIA. Yeah, I did. That's why the stop's gone. So NVIDIA stopped out. I'll look to get back in if I like this 130 level though.
Yeah, I mean, so I have a couple things I want to talk about. Shout out to Yonder Alvarez talking about Netflix and asking if we can look at Netflix. Yeah, I have no problem putting Netflix or Netflix, shout out to Obi, on our personal watch list over here to take a look at. Yeah, Netflix, I think, though, falling a little bit. Look at that 674. We try to break above. We have our 9 EMA bounce. It's like, whoa, it's going to happen. We have this topping tail candle, and the Netflix is like, I mean, I'm not really sure. Now we're falling below the 9 EMA. Interesting, though. Seeing a skosh of a bounce here at this 671. 671 was that area we had a little bit of chop and turn earlier, so I think this could be a nice look. I also like this level of 662. Not sure if we'll get there again today. It's about $10 lower from where we currently are hanging out. But I like 662 because we push above it. We're trying to push above it in the pre on a wick basis. Get right all nestled up close to it again on the pre. Then we come back lower, and then we swoop up with the viciousness off the open. So I do like Netflix here. I wanted to put that out there. There was something else that I was going to look at, and that thing, oh yeah. So Jeffrey Cardoza is saying, can we look at Mickey Mouse? And I mean, yeah, I love talking about the House of Mouse. That's what it's all about over here. Well, it's not, but we can look at it. Oh, it's not a share. There was almost a share push back there. I almost put back my share, but there wasn't enough there to get me too excited. That being said, 99.55, bounce, bounce, bounce. 99.75, rejection, 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 rejection. This is insane. This is going on the side chart. I don't really want to take any of my current. Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with the side chart, but I definitely want to. Disney deserves a spot, so maybe I need more side charts. Maybe that's the issue. But I do like this look here. Also, I want to address this question from Daniel B, because I think it's a good one, and I always do love being able to reflect here on these here markets. If you think it's a bear flag breakdown, why do you get out all of the trade? Or why not just take partial profit and lock in a zero risk stop? Just wondering, but good job in the trade also. Yeah, thank you, Daniel B. I want to address this. So I didn't think it was going to get that low. The plan for this was just kind of continue to go in and out. Like, I knew the bear flag breakdown was a possibility, but that's not really my style of trading, right? I like ranges, and I like playing trades like this in a range way where I'll add, subtract. That's like same thing I did with NVIDIA around that 130.60 level, right? That's what I tried to do with Tesla here, that 179. So basically, for me, this breakdown, for at least me being in the trade while it broke down, that was a happy accident. So I want to address why that happened. And also, I know when I do save pieces for dreams for breakdowns like this, I find I don't handle it very well. I don't know where to get in or get out. I get stressed out and the trading isn't as good. I find I trade the best when I am just like have scalp on my mind. So that's why I wanted to do that. But thank you, Daniel B, for giving me the opportunity to reflect on that. Also, thank you, Neil messaged me here saying, correct on GME. So I said, because I mentioned, I thought he got it in 28, so he said that was correct. That we got out of it when it bounced to 29 earlier. So thank you, Neil, for clarifying on that GME. Kevin Mendoza asking if it's time to short the memes. I already took a bit of a meme short here. It was going to be that 28, 20. Yeah, I got in 28, 28, and 28, 19. So that was the, I think average was 28, 22. Pieced out of it as it got to 28. Obviously, it got lower, but if we keep rejecting off this 9 EMA, especially the 28 area, things could get very spicy for me on the GameStop. Yeah.
I got stopped out of NVIDIA.
I like that you made
again.
the pun, but that's very sad.
Yeah, it's all good. 130, we put our line in the sand there, so another 30 penny loser on NVDA. Doesn't hold the 130 strictly, so we'll look to keep an eye on this one. It's been a down day in said markets. Well, not really a down day, even though the indexes are marginally red, but we have a lot of down pointing right now on some of these charts. So let's start looking short. And I didn't even have an eye on the futures to keep an eye on NVIDIA. That's a mistake by me because we just broke 19.6 quite aggressively there. So great lower highs, lower lows through the break of 19.6. So keep your eye out on that. The futures giving way there. Apple also breaking through 213, but still kind of above that IB low. That IB low was around 212 and a third. Same thing with AMZN. They're both at the IB low right now. Not much for me to look at these on these names. KAVL though, doing decent here, starting to curl back up, really held that 5 very well, but you had to pack your patience there. I didn't get into this name. We were focused more on the large caps, but this one up into that 5 and a third. I would say look for 6, definitely there. There's resistance, and then above that, the topping tail goes into that 6 3/4. KAVL, not a bad look, man, 315%, and it's still, definitely tradable into the afternoon here, or almost afternoon. What else we got going on? Let's go back. AMC, GME, they're both down to the right. I don't feel like getting shorts off that either. Longeveron just broke the 50 again. There does seem to be good price action support, though, for Longeveron at 3 1/4. Most of those dips into 3 1/4, 3 1/5. were bought up, so that's not a bad look there. Let's go back in to, let's take off AMC and put LGVN. Traded this bad boy yesterday, so we'll put an order there for LGVN at 3 1/4. We'll sit at 325, see if we can get filled at that level. What else we got? What is everybody looking at there in the chat? 200 on Tesla, says L Sam. Yeah, not today. What else we got? 1320 Wolf says he's got 130 calls on NVIDIA. All right, what else we got? Celtics for the win. Yeah, don't care about that. What else we got? Bull trap on ES. Well, I mean, we're definitely at local lows right now on the NQ. Let's have a look at ES. I haven't had eyes on that today. Here it is. Erwin, what are you doing? This 52 1/4, bit of a double top. Looks like maybe a 200 period rejection here on the 5. Yeah, I haven't looked at the ES today. It's still above that 5,400, so kind of like in no man's land at this level. I'm going to pull up KAVL, though, because I'm going to look to take a trade on that bad boy. Just unsure how to get into KAVL, though. Let's pull up the chart, get out of this NVIDIA, KAVL, and let's have a look at this one. This one inching up closer into 6. Where is the price action support here? You can make a case for 550 price action support. I think that's where I'm going to sit. We'll sit at 551, see if we can get a dip trade for defend of this key level over here if it does come back down. But it does look like it's putting in a bit of a curved bottom there. I don't want to call it a rounded bottom, but it's on its way to 6. So this is a good trade right now for whoever has KAVL long.
Yeah, oh, sorry, it took me a second there to realize that. Yeah, so TEM opened up. Also, if you want to look at TEM, this is that new IPO, TEM AI. Also, if you want to look at TEM or any other stock, there's actually a way to do that. And it's kind of funny. It's a whole new novel thing we do in our new audience enjoyment segment. I worded that weirdly. But yeah, audience participation segment. How do you vote for a ticker to look at? It's easy. Go in the chat right now. That's it, right now. And you have until 1:50 to do this. You have 2 more hours. You will, exclamation point, join. Shift 1, to quote what Sharif was saying there yesterday. Then you go space, $, shift 4, Tesla, Microsoft, AMC, Meta, Amazon, TEM, Google, Apple. I don't know what ticker you like. You know what, whatever tickers you fancy, you get involved. You put that in the chat. We'll take a look. TEM right now, the book. I'm just watching the book because it's a little bit hard to look at the chart in these new ones. I'm going to switch to 1 minute for TEM. Right now, yeah, TEM is a pretty hot item.
I can't hear you.
We have these nice wicking bottom. Oh, sorry, with these wicking candles here, wicking into 4060, coming back up. 4060 seems to be a nice level of support, at least on a wick basis here for TEM. TEM currently making a new high above that 42 level. Spread is like not the best thing I've ever seen in my life here. It's like a 36 penny spread, but getting a little bit tighter here. So let's keep an eye on TEM. See how this one continues to learn and grow here. Heidi DH asking about Microsoft. Now, I feel like my read of Microsoft is never as good as the man to my right. You have a great read of Microsoft, Sharif. I've been saying this, like, you've been so on it with Microsoft lately. One thing I did see that I was actually going to ask you what your thoughts were on this is look at this bounce we had here at 441. That's a nice look to me. Heidi, I would, though, be watching this 441.80 level. Why? Because this was that little bit of a previous level of rejection, and we are below the 90 MA. It also was support, so resistance and support flip-flops could be worth watching, especially below that 90 MA. That being said, I love that bounce off 441. We got it earlier. We also have it at view up. I'm an IWM, a few measly pennies in the money. I like the double bottom. I like the range. We're going to see what happens here. Hopefully we don't get IW massacred, but I don't think we're going to make IW millions here either. How are you doing?
Good. Just in Apple, again, trying to play this range. Just going to put in my stop super quickly. There we go. So we'll put that in there, and then we'll just watch. What are we doing here? So we'll put in the beak wetter. Yeah, we'll put it at like 92s or something like that. There we go, to defend that consolidation level. NVIDIA did bounce up nicely there off the low, and now it's breaking through 130 again. A bit of a hammer candle here coming in on NVIDIA. So is it time to go long? It's up 1/3%. It keeps going without me here. Yeah, I've been debating getting into this one for a hot minute, so we'll put the order there and we'll see what we get. All right, so a nice move up into the $0.25. We got 30s. Yeah, not much of a great price there. We'll put the beak wetter for said profit taking. If we can get something in and around there at 44s, we'll take that. What else do we have here on Apple? So Apple back up into the 80s area. just not jettisoning up. A lot of hammer candles showing up on some of these Mag 7 names, on Apple, on NVIDIA, even on Amazon and Meta, both all showing these kind of hammer-ish kind of patterns at the moment. Well, not patterns, candlesticks. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's been very much a down after or morning. We haven't gotten to the afternoon quite yet. Right now on some of these Mag 7 names, they've all really been pointing down and to the right, although Microsoft and Google have had decent mornings today. But yeah, definitely coming off those highs there. We'll see. Looking to wet my beak here on Apple, but yeah, it's not really moving up all that much, so I'll pack my patience. All right, we got that print on NVIDIA, so not a bad look there. Let's see if we can get a little bit more through the $0.50, but definitely finding a lot of price action resistance in and around here, Dara.
Yeah, I'm in IWM. I got 10 pennies out. Basically, the levels for this, the plan is, if I see something I hate on the tape, I run away like a scared child. That's the plan here. No, all jokes aside, okay, that's actually not a joke. That's how I'm taking profit on it. But in terms of the loss, I'm risking like 8 pennies. I like that 198.12 area. That was a wick basis. So if we get anywhere below there, risking 8 pennies, already made 10. I'm okay with that. Also, I know getting long near the low of day was a choice, but the reason I did it was, as Sharif always says, and I want to shout you out for saying this because it's really changed how I look at trading, balance of the evidence. Ooh. If I see some stuff that looks like, you got to be like Sam Waterston in Law and Order. You got to take the one thing that he always said in that show was, it's like, I only take cases I can win. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens, only what I can prove in court. That's what matters. And so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I'm like IWM could break low of day. What I can prove in court in this place is the fact that we have had a little bit of a range. We have a slightly higher low here. Every time we get to that 198, IWM's like, kind of want to go a little bit higher. So that's what I'm looking for here. As long as we hold this 198.30 pretty steadily, I will stay in this. If not, I'll get out. I'm not adding to this. It's not a massive position. I'm really just trying to work on getting the reps in there, going to the market gym, and getting my workout in. So that's what I have in IWM. NVIDIA is spicy, but I don't have a read on that right now. Why Brothers United saying, please ask me to push Tesla to 180. Unfortunately, I do not have the mystical powers to do that, or the shareage that would require. I'm going to be honest, guys. I still see Tesla as a short. We had that bottoming tail candle, but we're below the 90 EMA. I would be looking for 178. Like I said, my level that I think is the prettiest on Tesla for a rejection, though I think that's long gone, is 178.70s. That was that previous bottom, and man, was that a spicy level to play off earlier. We're about $1 away from that. Don't know if that's happening. GME trying to push higher. I have no reads either direction. That being said, I mentioned that 28 level I like. If we reject 28, GME, get ready for me. Okay. Game, we're going to get that game started to the downside again. And again, I have nothing against going long GME. I went long GME yesterday. Right now, for me, the levels indicate a short case. Again, for my purposes, for my levels, for what I'm looking for. And that's what I think one of the coolest things about trading is I love this community. And I love, being on the floor as well. Everyone has their own different opinions. But in the end, you have to take the trades that make the most sense to you. So yeah, I think that's what's really cool about trading, and I'm going to stop talking now. How are you doing?
All good. We're doing well right now, finally. We did a little bit better there on NVIDIA, took some profit out for a 20-penny winner. Looking for more, and we're back 20 pennies in the money with respect to what we've got left. But this 130.50 seems to be a bit of a resistance level. It was a consolidation area zone, so it's rejecting off that level now. So getting in a little bit of trouble there. Longeveron also got this. I've got it at 25s. It's printing 32s. I'm waiting at 33. So it's not printing me. The spread is 1 penny right now. Here's 33 on the ask, and there we get the fill. So not a bad move there on Longeveron, but it's NVIDIA that's now 5 pennies out of the money again on this name. It's really having trouble with that 130.50, hammer candle or not. It's not really ascending above that level again. So packing my patience. We're like 2 pennies in the money. I don't want to go out of the money at the moment with this name because I already took an L on it, but I don't want to paper hand the trade either because it could be headed higher here. Given that it bounced off support. So yeah, decisions to be made. So I'm gonna let that one go. I put in a stop, I think where I like it. The other one here, Longeveron, let's put in a beak wetter in front of 39. The reason I say that is because there was price action resistance at 39, or 40, excuse me. So I'll look to de-risk the majority of it in front of that level. We'll see what we get. Nice, NVIDIA, break 50, baby. So NVIDIA nicely breaking now, but still a tug of war happening here between buyers and sellers. Let's see if we can get into the 2/3. And now we're in the 2/3 of a dollar. So we're doing D's right now, 30 some odd pennies in the money. Let's see if we can get up a little bit more. It was one hell of a hammer candle. And then subsequent to that hammer candle, we made another 5-minute candle to make a new high. Not on a closing basis yet. It is going to close now. It did close. There we go. And now watch it tank. Joking. So let's see if we can get a little bit more here on NVIDIA. The trade that keeps on, bamboozling me, I got a nice little scalp here on Apple, got in 212.73, and then this was a really good trade. We almost got 213s, but then we got stopped out for the rest because Apple keeps making lower lows. So the trade on Apple has to really kind of be short here because it keeps making lower highs, and now we know it made lower lows. We broke through the IB low. The IB low is 212 and a third. Now the low is 212.40. So fact of the matter is we're now below the IB low. So now I'm going to start shorting this name if we pop into the IB low again at that 2/3 of a dollar-ish area. So Apple's a short, in my opinion, going on the rest of the day. Back to NVIDIA here. Oh, I got to go to KAVL because now we're in that name as well, as we had a dip trade set up on that one. So which one am I going to take off? I'm going to take off Softy here, KAVL. Let's go to that. We're long at 51s, and as you can, we're long 51, and it's breaking into 40s here. So my line in the sand is going to be the break of 5. It's going to have to hold up at this level on KAVL because that's where VWAP is. So if it breaks VWAP, that's the end of the trade here for me on KAVL. I'm going to send it to you, Adara, so I have to put in my stops.
Yes, and if you want to look at KAVL or any other tickers, hypothetically speaking, well, it's not a hypothetical. Actually, you could do it every day at 2 p.m. because we love audience interaction over here at Trader TV Live. But how do you do that? Well, you go in the chat right now. That's it, right now. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker is your fancy. SPY, maybe KAVL, maybe Cavill. Also, shout out to Shreven, those 3 trades right now and these very spicy names. I want to give you a shout out there because he's Longeveron, he's NVIDIA, and he's, I don't have a pun for Cavill.
It's all good.
But yeah, or he's KAV long Cavill.
Yes. Hopefully we can print on this one because this one's in trouble.
I hope you print, as you always say to me.
Hopefully.
Hope you print there. So great look there. Also, nice job on that NVIDIA. That's gorgeous. It's a really
it's okay. Yeah, we got a little out there, Adara. So that one is done. We got it out at 2/3 of a dollar. Still negative on NVIDIA though, guys, because of that big down move. So I'm gonna have to work my way out of this one.
Yeah. Also, thank you so much to Daniel B for the kind words for the midday. We're really happy to be here, and I'm so happy that you're here and a part of this community. Hope you print as well. We hope everyone prints here on Trader TV Live, and more specifically in how to trade. Also, I took a baby SPY short that I want to talk about. There's nothing like crazy or epic to say. It was small. I took it. This was, like I said, I've been really trying to work on tape scalping because I feel comfortable with reading the book, but then my issue is I don't trust myself enough, and then I get skittish. I get like Bambi skidding on the ice. I don't want that though. You know what I want? I want to be able to trust myself. I want to be able to take levels I like. So I saw SPY curl up to this 541.40s. I said, Adara, watch the book at that level, see what we like. We had a really hard time decisively breaking above 40s. I took like under 10 pennies in this. It was not the trade of anyone's life, but basically took it until I noticed a little bit of skittishness on the book. That's where I got out. Pleased as darn punch, dang punch, whatever word you want to use. Maybe there's different flavors of punch, like darn punch, dang punch.
There are. I'm assuming that there's probably
right? Maybe darn punch is like a pink. Maybe I don't know. I need to calm down, guys. I'm having a good day. It's just been. I feel so energized being able to be in these markets every single day. GME. I had something ready there to go short 27.95s, and I took it out because I did not like these higher lows. Now, does that mean I will never go short GME again? No, it does not. If GME's it's on site. We'll be like Sonic the Hedgehog. We'll get in this quick fast over here if we have this opportunity to do so. But right now, I really want to see that decisive rejection, that kiss and the turning away at the door at that 28 level. That is the level I like in GME. If we break above 28, I have no interest. But we get to 28, and GME is like, Adara, you should have gone short, because right now I'm getting a little skittish. We'll watch it. We'll wait. Patience is key. I saw Just Brad in the chat saying, where do you put your patience when you pack it? Well, I mean, that depends on, maybe, you want a backpack. Maybe you want a Samsonite bag. Maybe you have a large purse. I like to carry a giant purse around for all you need. So wherever, you happen to pack your patience, make sure it's packed. You know what? I like this GME. I've seen enough rejection for my tastes. If we break above into this 28.20, I'm out. But right now, I'm ready to roar with that. Well, actually, I'm not. I guess I'm roaring against the Catman because I'm short this. Shout out to Yoel Reina, $5 super chat. Hello, my favorite people. Hello to you, Yoel Reina. What do you think of the ticker REBN? It's been good to me. It's like reborn. Is this not a therapeutic name? Let's take a look at this. REBN. I'm just doing some quick Googles. Reborn Coffee. Oh, I was right. Okay, this is a great look on the daily chart. The one thing I don't like intraday chart. One thing I don't like about this is the fact that it's 178,000 shares traded on the day. That's very low volume. On the daily chart, though, REBN, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I have to say this chart's been reborn. It's been energized with those coffee beans. This one's beaming to the upside. But again, not a lot of volume on an intraday basis. That being said, it sounds like you said it's been good to you lately, so I'm guessing this is going to be a bit more of a long-term play. I like that we had this pop into almost the 420 area, so different kind of substance here for Reborn Coffee. Then we bounce beautifully, so I think this is a great look here for REBN. Honestly, no notes. I'm not really seeing any areas of resistance. Looks like this is nice upside. So yeah, Yoel Reina, gotta say, I think that's a really good look. Let's see if there's, oh yeah, sorry, there's another super chat here earlier that we missed. Thank you so much to Ahmed Awala, AED, $10. Finally positive Friday. Have a nice weekend, y'all. Have a nice weekend to you as well, Ahmed. And sorry we didn't get to that super chat earlier. So happy to be here. Yoel Reina saying love the puns. You know what? Love the support for everyone in the chat. Yeah, good times.
I wanted to mention that VinFast is up big today. I did not have eyes on this, 11.45%. Here's the headline: Vietnam's VinFast jumps on U.S. sales forecast, manufacturing plans. The company expects sales in the U.S. market to increase by 30 to 40 times this year. Did I read that? VFS expects to reach break-even point soon. Company expects to begin production for factory in Tamil Nadu in India in the first half of 2025. They also expect to break down on their manufacturing plant in Indonesia. We already know that they're building out a plant in North Carolina. So that's a good look there. VFS, decent day for them, 11.5 to the good, 445 HOD at the moment. Just got stopped out of KAVL there. Sad about that. And I don't know why I didn't get out the full amount there, but there we go. I had to get out of this because this was a 20-period dip and pop. Alas, it did not pop. So we get out of that one. Now, we're doing well, very well on long Chevron. Long at 25s, just printed at 40s. So doing decent on this one. One good, one bad. They're both small cap gappers du jour. It looks like KAVL on my side chart, though, is holding $5. So I might have been a little bit too frugal with my exit there. And that last candle on KAVL got into 505. And now it's right back up into 5.25. So this could be an interesting here entry if I defend 5, but I'm not close enough to 5 at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to pack my patience on this one. We'll see what KAVL brings later. LGVN, though, I've got one more out on this one, I believe. Yes, one more out on LGVN. Positive on this one. Guys, I'm only positive on 2 names, and I've traded 6. So I am 2 for 6 today. It hasn't been my best day. So maybe I don't want to follow along with my trades because today's been a bit tougher read for me on the markets. We'll see. Maybe we can do a little bit better in the afternoon, but I'm definitely looking at this KAVL again as it starts going here. I'm going to get back in. Call me crazy, but that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to get out below 5.
Yeah, I love the call me crazy. It's a nice energy. But yeah, I mean, shout out to you, though, because the thing with trades, you never know how they're going to work out. You just take them if you like them. So I do want to shout out Sharif there. Also, because you've been trading some fancy little tickers. Like you got the long Chevron, you got the KAVL. So it's like I want to shout out to Sharif. I'm always very happy to be here with the leader of #Mustache Mafia. Shout out to a proper paradigm in the chat. Also, Kate, I want to talk about GME because I'm still in this trade, but I'm in this trade with the heaviest dose of skepticism. Whatever the maximum dose of skepticism a doctor can give you, that is how much skepticism I am dosing on here. I'm overdosing on skepticism. You might be like, Adara, why have you left the trade? I don't have a reason to leave yet. We got to 20, I said I wanted lower highs. I said 28.20s, no. We get to 28.09s, and then GME's like, do I want this? And I said, GME, if you don't want this, come to mama, come over here, come to the downside. I'm really sorry I said that, guys. But yeah, we had this, apologies. We had this, basically the reason I got nervous is because we had a bit of a bottoming tail candle here, and then we were bouncing off the 90 EMA for a time being, so I said, Adara, if that spell becomes a longer spell, if that spell becomes a curse, the spell at which we're staying here, that's where you have to get out. I mean, right now though, I have no reason to leave, so if we bounce again off 80s, that's where I cut the cord and I say, bye-bye GME. You're not giving me anything else over here. We're going to be getting some out at 81s, 15 pennies. Woohoo, no, I'm joking. But you just got to take profits where you take it. I'm going to be keeping the rest. That being said, you know, as Neil does his lesson of the day, if I decide to get up and use the washroom or anything, GME is not coming with me. I'm cutting that cord, snip, snip, snip. That game's over. Turning off that game. That game has stopped. But that's what I'll be doing here with GME. That's the plan. Yeah, thanks, happy to hear it, Noah. Just, you know, if we can laugh on Fridays, I think that's always fun.
For sure.
And I'm always, yeah, just like making my little puns. IBIT and BITC being mentioned here by Sebastian. So let's take a look and see, do we have a bit of IBIT? Should we have a lot of IBIT? Should we have, yeah. Okay, sorry guys, we missed this on Bitcoin here. This was a bit of a double top here at 38.16. Also interesting, it was around that level that we had a bit of a bounce earlier. Then we dropped to the downside with the viciousness. We tried to crack above here into this wick area here, 37.90, and IBIT's like, I don't really want any of that. I don't want just a bit, I want none. Then it drops to the downside. We're trying to recover. I don't really have levels on this IBIT. I have to say right now it's kind of a steady downturn. That being said, if we can come back to that 37.90 we rejected viciously earlier, and we can say, no, 37.90, let's be friends, and move higher, then I think that could be a nice bit of recovery here. Just a bit on IBIT there. SPY pushing higher. IWM, I clearly left that long too early, but I traded it how I wanted to trade it, so I'm okay with that. I don't know if I actually went over this trade, so just quickly, basically, I got out at the 90 EMA. We had that rejection. I got out. Please just punch. Also, GameStop, I'd be more pleased to punch with you if you have more of a divorce from this 27.80 level. But I'm not leaving until I use the washroom. And believe me, GameStop is not something you can leave unbabysat. You must babysit that child. But Neil's ready, so we're going to watch him now.
Today's lesson of the day.
Trade.
Welcome to today's lesson of the day, brought to you, in a sense, by Obi, to be honest, because we were talking over some of the opportunities this morning, the ones that we weren't looking at, and that's where I came up with this notion. You know, the trades that we didn't have, the setups that were really, really simple, that I think sometimes if you were trading this stock or if you were looking at this stock, it's almost impossible for a seasoned trader to have missed it out. So it's going to be at least a little bit obvious the two names I'm going to talk about if you were watching any of the big cap tech names. Like, what is holding up at the highs right now? Microsoft. What is super strong that just broke the highs? Google. So what were some easy ways to have been involved in this move that you have in Microsoft, and another one that's very similar in Google? It's a very easy, I mean, easy isn't always the right word to use. I feel like I use that all the time. Something which is structurally simple, that when you see it as a trading opportunity, it's not difficult to A, put the trade on, or B, to find entry points and to find the reason why you like the trade. So let's start with maybe the daily chart to just give you an idea. One thing that you're going to want here for this idea is you want something which is usually in an uptrend. That's a big bonus. Stock is strong, one red day in the last 2 weeks, breaking through all-time highs. So you have all that going for you on Microsoft. The second thing you have going for you is sort of an obvious range of interest. Now, if you look at yesterday's bottom, $439 and once, twice, pre-market, and then after the open support. Then you have the high here at 443. That's a $4 range, almost 1%. It's a double top as well, so you know where the resistance is likely to be and where you have room to get to. Clearly, you're going to see what happens and what I'm going to be getting at here. It is a simplistic breakout idea through the 439.5, depending on where you actually want to execute it. But there's a twist. You've got two things outside of just saying it breaks back through 439, why I like this long at the open. One, the trend to the upside, but more importantly, the liquidity grab before it happens. At the open, at 9:30, you have a candle down that takes the pre-market low, does not hold the pre-market low, probably traps some people there as it breaks the pre-market low, or definitely stops some people out that were long into an up move. It was gapping to the downside in effect as well, so some people might have been looking for short, and then suddenly you're breaking it back out. So you're rinsing a bottom, and then you're breaking out a key level on a stock which is testing all-time highs and trending to the upside, meaning you're favoring the long in a stock like this. Now, if you want to get really sneaky about it, one of the other things that Obi and I were talking about was, if you just simply looked at 2 days ago when it was a ramp job to the upside, check out the opening range bottom here, 436.5. So you have the wipeout bottom, and you have this higher low off of VWAP, where it just absolutely started going ham. The other trade that is available for you, if you, like I said, if you're really sneaky about it, a break of that pre-market low still had that higher low from the big day 2 days ago. It never breaks that level. So now all of a sudden you've got 436.5 for a scalp trade, and then you're long back through 437. That's a little more difficult trade to put on because you essentially have to be sitting there looking for that trade at 9:30 at the open to be very, very quick with it. The other one, you can just be saying, okay, well, 439 has to set up. It goes to the downside. You got 5 minutes to chill out, throw a stop order, and then once it breaks, it's a clean move. Now, the other name, which is just as strong in a sense, is going to be Google. Now, what Google gives you for this one is much easier. I started with Microsoft because I feel like it was almost sneakier. But what Google did, it doesn't actually get more simplistic than this. One, because it closed at $175 and change. So you've got the previous close price for it as well. You then have the double bottom. There's your double bottom at 175, closed at 175, didn't just hold pre-market support at 174, wind back to earlier in the week, and the biggest, strongest update bounced from what level? $174. So you know from there, that's where the strongest buying came into the stock. Then you also have support turning into resistance, getting a breakout. It's the same concept. You're looking for a breakout trade in an overall uptrending stock on a daily when it holds a big support level where there were buyers before and breaks out a key previous support that turned into resistance level, and then it's just trend to the upside after that. It's the type of setup, I get it. Is Google the first thing you're looking at in a day where NVIDIA captures everybody's attention and Tesla has the vote and GameStop is doing what it does? Maybe not. But if you're a big cap tech trader, one of the things that you're probably doing every single day is going over your charts, looking at what has the key levels and the key price areas of interest that you could execute trades on. And I would wager if you zoom out this Google chart, you're going to look at this and say, okay, well, 175 double bottom, we're consolidating under it, but right underneath the big support. A break in either direction here actually looks pretty good, but a failed break and then a breakout to the upside looking fantastic for Google. And then a similar thing for Microsoft. If you've been following this one as it breaks, super strong for a couple of days in a row, you have a consolidative day yesterday at that high, then you try to break the bottom. If you're watching this stock, you've got to be thinking bullish above 439, play into the high of the day. Well, it's going to give you that test underneath, trapping some shorts, and then you patiently wait for it to start holding the 439. And if you miss that trade, look at the trend. Buy the dip into support in the afternoon. Higher low, that actually even follows a trend line. And I'm just going to show you right quickly here. It even follows a pretty solid trend line after it consolidates to the upside. So it's not always about the super flashy trade. If you can just zoom out, find a good stock with good volume that is trending up on the daily chart, that has quality interest like these two names, that has very key levels from the previous 2 or 3 days, that it both tries to fail but then holds support, breaks it back out. The breakout trade at the open is one of the more simple strategies for any beginning trader. All you have to do is find a few key traits, and it's so repeatable, and even more importantly, it's so easy to judge. You know what setup is one you would take and what you wouldn't. So even if you're just paper trading it, it's easy to say, I'm in at this price because these conditions are met. My stop is down here at that low. This is my target at that resistance level, maybe some halfway out. It's quantifiable, which means it's recordable, and then you can do your own back and forward testing to apply the strategy. Not always about being flashy. Sometimes those very simple breakout setups at the open should be your bread and butter, especially if you're starting out. That's your lesson of the day.
All right, thank you very much, Neil, for that lesson of the day. Awesome, informative, and amazing as always. Neil Roberts, everybody, around noon time every day. All right, let's have a look at the futures. We've been kind of ranging off this top over here at that 19,643, kind of a random level, close to some of the highs that we put in the pre today. A bit of a zigzag up above VWAP right now, marginally up 0.1 on the day. Apple at low of day right now at 211.85, so we'll keep eyes on that one. That one continues to print lower. Amazon still very much in a range at that 183.5 to the top side, almost like 182.5 to the downside. Good look for the range there. Tesla still below 180, and Microsoft and Google look like they're the strongest kind of names on the day with respect to chart patterns on this Mag 7. I know NVIDIA is up as well, but definitely off the highs, Adara on NVDA. While Neil was dropping hot lines, I got stopped out of my KAVL trade for the second time today, so I'm going to have to stop trading this one. It's right back above into that $5 level, but I did well on Longeveron. I was able to get a couple of beak widers. The last one, though, in front of that 50 penny level, I was unable to get filled, so we got stopped out break even. It looks like KAVL kind of switched from respecting the 50 as support to now using the 50 on the 5 as resistance. You had that nice hold up right there on KAVL, and then it flips and uses it as resistance. We'll see if it can stay above 3 on, LGVN, not KAVL, at that $3 area there.
Yeah. So I had a little baby Tesla scalpy scalp over here. So I like this. The second I said, I want to see if we reject off this base, and we did. So I said, okay, Dara, all eyes on Tesla. We get to the 90 MA, and I was like, if we, because sometimes there was rejections off the 90 MA, because we tried to get to 178.25. We were holding on to it by a thread. Like that just hang on meme with like the cat trying to hold on to a tree. Like this is what Tesla's doing here at this 90 MA. So I said, Dara, scalp it. I took 20 pennies. I think we could be coiling to push higher, but to me, this rejection was so strong. Our inability to hold the 90 MA was so strong. I said, Dara, take your 20 pennies. I think for me, the balance, again, I want to shout out to Sharif for the balance of the evidence. The balance of the evidence for me said, Tesla short for now, for scalp. We'll pretend that was in proper English. So there we go here for TSLA. Also, GME, I got out of, happy with what I did here, because I said I was not necessarily trusting this higher low. So I said I really wanted to get out as quickly as possible. Got out everything around 80s here, pushed even higher. I don't have a short on GME right now. I really don't. If we bounce off 28, I will go long. That is the look here for GME, but again, not forcing anything. Just, there's so many, the thing that I've realized too is there's so many opportunities. There's so many stocks. You don't have to try to force yourself to trade one stock. Do you know what I mean? Because I've had an issue where I've gotten married to tickers and it's like, but there's other charts, Adara. There's other things to look at. So there we go. GME's on my side chart, so it's on my mind, but it's not something I'm necessarily going to get married to here. I want to talk about AMD as well. Ponzi Fonzie saying AMD, I mentioned AMD 1 to 58 in the chat, and I agree. AMD here below the 90 MA. Every time I think, maybe I should short this, I totally missed my opportunity. I think we could be trying to coil for a breakup here, but we do have these topping tail candles. I think 158.60 could get interesting. I'm watching you, AMD. Yeah, your AM discovered. Not my best one. But what's always great is the lesson of the day. Yeah,
let's get to that. So we're talking about the rounded bottom, the rounding bottom, whatever term you want to use. So a rounding bottom is a chart pattern characterized by a series of price movements that graphically form the shape of a U. The rounding bottoms are found at the end of extended downtrends and signify a reversal in long-term price movements. So they're reversal patterns. This pattern's time frame can vary absolutely from several weeks to several months, but it's also fractal in nature, so you can use it intraday. Volume and price will ideally move in tandem, and volume confirms the price action. Let's get to that right away. So understanding these rounded bottoms as first step, you should know that it's characterized by its U-shaped pattern. So the rounding bottom gets its name from its distinct U-shaped appearance on the price chart. Why is this thing here? This thing is not right here. It's also, the formation process is also important as well for this. Let me just adjust this. I don't know how that happened. The formation process is also really important. It emerges typically after an extended downtrend. The price action declines steadily. It then reaches its low point and then begins to gradually ascend in a curved manner, resembling kind of a bowl shape. And this is kind of what we're looking at there. So one thing you need to definitely keep your eye on, the downtrend that precedes the making of the bowl shape, the U shape, and then earmark the level where you think the neckline is. We'll get to that in a second. So why are they important? Well, they indicate a possible trend reversal. They're a reversal signal. So they act as potential trend reversal signals, suggesting a shift from the downtrend to an uptrend. And it's also indicating to you a shift in sentiment, a shift in trader sentiment, investor sentiment. It indicates a potential inflection point where buyers start accumulating, overpowering sellers who dominated the downtrend. So how do we identify these? The characteristic is obviously to look for a downtrend first. So before you even look for the rounded bottom, confirm to see that the price action that you see before the rounded bottom was a downtrend. So the first step is to identify a clear downtrend using trend lines or moving averages or whatever price action confirmation you want to use. Then the second step is to look for that curved bottom. So you know that there's a downtrend preceding it. Now, is there a curved bottom to kind of help support the idea that you have here? And then you need to look for the neckline. So as the price climbs, it faces resistance at a specific level. This level roughly corresponding to the horizontal line across the top of the rounded bottom is called the neckline. And this is what we're looking for here. So again, I want to point your attention to the downtrend that preceded the making of the rounded bottom. And then when you notice that, and you also notice that there is a rounded bottom, your third step is to look for the neckline. So you're looking for a key area of price action resistance that preceded the neckline, okay? And so the reason you're looking for that is because you're going to look to the other side of the chart to see if there's an area there that corresponds with that as well. Typically there will be. So if this was a price action resistance area here, when we round up back into it, you're likely going to reject off that area initially unless there's something really outlying. So look for that neckline. This is kind of a different version of the rounded bottom. It's called the cup and handle. A lot of us are very familiar with this. The reason I showed this one is because when you get back into the neckline, you could consolidate at the neckline for a period of time because it's a price action resistance level. And then that consolidation, that's what kind of makes the cup on the cup and handle. So a lot of times these two patterns overlap because their only difference is the consolidation area subsequent to the rounded bottom that differentiates these two patterns. So, you know, it pays to be apprised with both of them. Nothing different really about the patterns. Both are preceded by downtrends. Both have a U-shaped pattern and both have a neckline from which to break out. Okay? So how do we trade these rounded bottoms? Well, you can trade the higher highs and higher lows contained within the bottom or the bowl or whatever you want to call it. That works for you, do it. But the breakout trade here is the trade above the neckline. That's what we're going to talk about. So the key signal is a decisive breakout above the neckline with a closing price definitively higher than the resistance level. This suggests a potential trend reversal. You also have to look for volume confirmation with that breakout. And the way to do that is to confirm, number one, that it's above average volume. And then the above average volume has to be compared to a comparator group. The comparator group are the volume candles contained within the rounded bottom. If you get a break of the neckline with higher average volume than the volume bars contained within the bowl or the rounded bottom, there's a check right there. And then your entry and your stop loss. You're going to enter the trade shortly after the breakout confirmation of the neckline, and your stop loss here, look, you could do one of two things. You could put it below the neckline because you want to defend that neckline, or if you're really going for it here and you have a longer term view for the trade, you can put it below the rounded bottom, below the bowl. Up to you. And so you could either wait here for this neckline break, right, and then put your stop below the neckline. That's one. Or you could put the neckline all the way down here. Now, I would say to you, your stop is going to be influenced, obviously, by your risk management, but it's also going to be influenced by the time frame in which you're trading. For example, if I'm trading intraday, I'm definitely not giving it to low of day, right? That's kind of crazy in my book. I don't know too many, unless you're really close to low of day, you're not going to give it to low of day through that extended. So for intraday trades, the stop would be below the neckline. However, if you're trading off the weekly, you're trading off the daily, and your time frame is like 3 and 6 months, then absolutely, I would definitely put the stop below the bottom end of the neckline there, giving yourself room for those intraday swings. So I think a lot here has to do with your time frame. And some additional tips that you need to apprise yourself of: the pattern measurement, right? That's one of the beautiful things about the rounded bottom, kind of like the head and shoulders or the bull flag. We can kind of gauge what the move is gonna be based upon the depth of the rounded bottom. So what do I mean by that? So here's what I'm talking about. So that's your neckline, and that's the bottom of the rounded bottom. You're gonna measure how much that is in price, and then you're gonna take that and you're gonna project it upwards from here, and then that's gonna be your profit target. So that's what we mean by pattern measurement. The depth of the rounding bottom can sometimes offer clues about the potential upside move. Traditionally, the measured height of the pattern from the bottom to the neckline is projected upwards from the breakout point to estimate a target price for the uptrend. And you also, I kind of prefaced this earlier, but you have to be aware of the time frame here. Rounding bottoms can form on various time frames. They might take weeks to develop or even months. Consider the time frame when setting your trading strategy. I think this really influences your stop. And confirmation, as it always is in technical analysis, is key. While rounding bottoms are valuable, use them alongside other technical indicators like the relative strength index, like the moving average, convergence, divergence. These momentum indicators help you see if there is a change in the sentiment from the consolidative rounded bottom to that neckline break that we get. So be on the lookout and help gauge momentum using some of these other technical indicators.
Yeah, thank you so much for going over that lesson, Sharif, too. And not every rounded bottom also necessarily is a long opportunity, which is why confirmation is so important. I have that pattern I call the umbrella handle pattern.
Yeah.
So when you have that down move, you have a pretty sharp kind of rounded bottom, and then you continue to the downside. So always make sure you have confirmation and stop set and risk management in play. Thank you very much, Sharif, for going over that lesson of the day. IWM low of day break. I'm involved. I am in the picture. I am, okay, so my, it's not gonna be Neil's lesson of the day. My caveat, my conversation with IWM, chasing is bad, but if you have, I don't know. I don't know how to finish that. I got like a bit chasey here, like a couple pennies, and I think that's the difference between being chasey and being frugal. That's what, or no, did that make sense? Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sharif. English. But so basically, what happened was I wanted 198.21s. We get to 198.21 on the sell side. We never get there on the buy side. I don't get filled. I'm like, grr. I want this position, right? We're getting lower and lower. Every time I put my area, IWM gets scared like 1 penny off. It gets really frustrating. So I said, Dara, we're at 198.15s. This is only like 6 pennies away from what you wanted. Like, it's not that much of a chase, right? I said, Dara, do what you have to do. And then if we get back to 198.19s, add there. We never did, so I still have enough of a position. I have a small piece of the dreamer. I have a third of this position left. This honestly was kind of a hope and a prayer here that we'd have this low of day break. And I don't mean that like, to be facetious or anything. Obviously, you don't want to be in a position that doesn't make sense, but I have no issue here right now. At this point, I want to see if we get back above 198.10s, I'm out, I'm done, I'm gonzo, as as Sharif will sometimes say, but I want to keep an eye here on this IWM. Right now, I am IWM to win it here, and okay, made more sense in my head. Let's look at Microsoft, because Microsoft, wow, I missed this range. Oh, this double top here, 443, to the downside. I want to see what we do at 441.80. That was a level, as I mentioned earlier, I really liked. We had this resistance, then support. Let's see what we do at 441.28. Not one that I would necessarily trade. I find I'm not always adept here, or and never really feel adept or comfortable with Microsoft, but let's see what we do. I'm going to show you Sharif, because Sharif's very good with that Microsoft. He's also very good with this other name here that I also find a little bit bamboozling, and that's going to be Meta.
Yeah, it was pointing down at Dara, and it was making another round at top, possibly rejecting off. Again, the 50, I'm a little late on this entry, but I think we could get into that 501 area. I'm going to give this one a little bit of room. We'll see what we get, and we will not get upset. To be clear, I got short MSTR against yesterday's closing price of 14.84, says Big Kyle. Shout out to Big Kyle. Brad Gober says ARM looks roundy. Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to look at ARM then. Let's pull up ARM on the set side chart here and have a look at what Brad Gober is talking about. Here it is. ARM. Oops, that's AM. You can come to the chart. You're thinking about it. Oh, yeah, interesting look here. I don't know if this would be a rounded bottom, Brad. It just looks like a price action support area, though. But interesting. Look. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I don't think everything we're going to see is going to be a rounded bottom. So, yeah, look, it's a good recovery. I look for price action resistance at 158 because that's where the closing print on ARM was yesterday. In fact, that's actually a good idea. Because we know that was the closing print from yesterday as well as the pre-market bottom. So if we make it up there, personally, I'll be looking for price action resistance at ARM at that level. So let's go ahead and put in an alert. We want, maybe a $0.75 alert in and around there. I don't know where the hell that alert went. Create new alert, dumbass. There we go. Over here, and we'll leave that one there. All right, back into the Meta trade. Still out of the money on this one, but I still like the possible trend to the downside. I'm looking for a break of the 20 period before I get out of this one. So gonna pack my patience with that. Want to also mention that Apple made another new low of day at 211.30. This one continues to head to the downside. I don't think we really have any price action support in and around this area. I think the closest area we've got, did we break that area? Yeah, we broke yesterday's low. So the only area that we have here is this 208. So we realistically could retrace into 208 today. I don't know if we will, but that's the price that we have as the high from June 11th. So it'll be interesting to see if we make it all the way back down there. Oh, and I just got stopped out of Meta again, but I think I'm gonna get right back into that.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to Sharif there in that Meta. Also, I was saying a couple days ago, I love that you call it the Zuck train because it's Meta platforms.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a kind of an app. I know that's not why you do it, but I think it's kind of funny. Also, NVIDIA. Hi, NVIDIA. I tried this short here. It actually would have worked out, but you have to trust yourself. I basically said I was going to risk into that 131.20 area. If we made a higher high, I'd get out. I got involved 130.95, so I was risking 25 pennies. I wanted 60s minimum, so 25 risk, 35 reward I could live with. The reason I got out was because I was seeing stuff on the tape and the book I did not like. We pushed up into 130.104, so I said, Derek, get out here. Rather be safe than sorry, so I got out. That being said, NVIDIA, you want to keep making lower highs, do you? Is that what you want, NVIDIA? Is that what you want to do? I like what I'm seeing on the tape and the book. I'm getting back in. I'll stop threatening NVIDIA. Sorry, guys. So there we go. Sometimes, Sharif calls them punks. Sometimes you got to get a little bit wise guy with these stocks. You know what I mean? They're not people. You can get a little bit fancy, a little bit sassy. Let's see how NVIDIA goes. Someone else wants to look at Netflix here. I looked at Netflix. Oh, okay. Now Netflix is a pushback. Also, I'm sorry, guys. I knocked over Trenda. So that was really disrespectful. Sorry, Trenda. Trenda's back on the desk. Also, Netflix to me. Netflix might actually get a spot in the side chart. Step aside, AMD. You can't break 158. What are you doing here? But no, in Netflix, I said that struggle with 674 is ongoing. We try it. Get it above on wick basis, can't close above it. We still have not closed above it. Now we're making lower highs. We're at VWAP. We have slightly higher lows, which is something to note as well. We go from 668 to 669.30 to 670. So the higher lows are something I want to be cognizant of. But to me, we were just talking about roundy bottom patterns. This looks like a roundy top. So actually, you know what? AMD, I can't believe I'm doing this to you, but AMD's been exiled from the side chart. Netflix, step up here and enter my watch list. NVIDIA, a couple pennies in the money. We'll see what happens.
All right, we just took some profits there on Meta, putting up another beak wetter for another possible 20 rejection. But I want to remind you guys to vote every day on the afternoon rundown. Have your say if you want to talk about GameStop or NVIDIA or IWM or Meta or whatever you want to talk about. Get into the chat right now. Type in ! join, then space, then the $sign, then the ticker of your choice. Otherwise, we'll talk about tickers you don't want to talk about. So yeah, you're going to have to vote. All right, so looking at Meta here, still looking for this 501.82 beak wetter. It did make its way down a little bit. Nice little move. We'll keep eyes on that. I saw Tesla just broke out there. This is interesting. It hasn't been doing anything, but still much below the wick shimmy area that it was doing over here. It was coming into 180. I'll be looking for another 180 rejection on Tesla. It's inching up here off that 176 92. Good recovery there off the bottom on TSLA, but still very much a down day, 1 4/5 in the negative. Let's go ahead and put in an alert for TSLA at that high 180 area. We'll see if we can get an alert there to be alerted of the move up. So packing my patience on that. Nothing showing up on my scanner new in small cap gapper world. I've been keeping an eye on the CNSP. It's been the #1 name, but it's been doing volume the wrong way. It's been going down rather than up, but it's the volume leader right now. This one was a multiple halter to the upside, looking to close that entire move down into 360. So we'll have to see how this one ends up panning out. Not much for me else to talk about. Still in this meta trade, still looking for some sort of entry here on one of these names, Adair.
Yeah, I just went red in NVIDIA. We got into 131.10s, and I said so long to the short. And the thing is, too, I'm really happy I got it where I did, though, and this is why I think one of my favorite things about trying to scalp the book more lately has been you really learn to trust yourself. If you see something in the book and the tape that looks weird, you got to run with your tail between your legs like a scared squirrel or something, or a dog, I don't know. But here we go on NVDA. We're out now. If we bounce off the 98, maybe we'll take a scalp long, but slightly red on this name. Still up on the day, though, and still, of course, always bullish positivity. It's that, I know trading can be kind of a, you're alone, you're in your head. The markets are not on your side, so it's always nice to have people who are in this chat, in this community, and that's why I always try to be positive. Also, thank you so much to D-Lo for the $5 Canadian dollar super chat there. This is addressed to Neil. So when you look left, you really disregard all that chop from April 22nd at the $6 level, rather than just most recent left where it bounced out 450. So this looks like this might be related to AMC, and it is addressed to Neil Roberts. Pardon? Oh, it's SoFi. Sorry, it's SoFi and not. Let's actually look at SoFi then. Thank you, Neil, because I wasn't with those levels. I also thought that could have been AMC. So, okay, yeah. So SoFi, not so good, I have to say here. Look at this flat bottom break that we had at that 647 level. We come lower. This is much like Tesla making a double or triple bear flag, but not having the recovery that Tesla has had. Let's take a look at the daily. At least, again, I am not Neil Roberts, but this is my take here on the daily chart for SoFi. It's not showing me very much. But yeah, basically, we had a little bit of support here, something at that 675. We've fallen off that level, lower highs here for SoFi. So yeah, not seeing a lot that I really like. Tesla, if you want to keep projecting that 179.20 and doing interesting things there, I'll hop right back in that short. I have zero qualms. I am qualmless. Also, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
I think it's kind of interesting. So you trade a lot of course, you like the small cap gappers. I was wondering, because we've had some of these that have been like multi-day stays. So like Longeveron's been staying on our mind for a couple of days.
Yeah.
We've had, do you think there's a correlation between that and the meme stock runs?
I have no idea. That's a good question.
I was just wondering, because
yeah.
I feel like I know you're more aware of them.
It's so hard to tell what makes people want to trade. But yeah, I think the memes have kind of their own little fan base there. But the small cap gappers, I would say that, day traders wake up every day to trade these. They're around almost every day. Definitely not with the same percentage increase. So we'll see. Back to Meta at this level. I'm still waiting for a 502 break. It's been rejection after rejection of the 50 period here, but the 502 level has been defended quite well. So I tried to add again to this one. I didn't get filled, sadly. We're in the money, but it's not really breaking down with the kind of vigor that I was hoping for. So we're going to keep eyes on this one. Not much else for me to trade. It's been a very subdued day, I guess, for some of these Mag 7 names today. So packing my patience. We'll see what else we get. Let's see what else. Longeveron is still at that same area that I got out of it from. It's still rejecting off the 50 period. Bit of a dance. It's about 20 pennies worth of range. At its best, it's 25 pennies, 340 to the high side, 315 to the downside. Not much else there. KAVL is right back up again. So sadly, I got stopped out of this one, got shaken out, but right back into the highs. So maybe we'll give that one the old college try again. So I just put it in my Meta area. So now I have to put in my stop on Meta. So now we're short Meta at 50.37. So I'm going to get out at, we're going to put it at 63s, and then we'll look to cover the entire position there. 502, and then we'll put, say, 783s for that amount. So we'll put that stop in, see what happens. Let's go back to KAVL, though, because this one's really starting to squeeze here into that $0.50. Good look for this one as it really starting to pick up. The tape's really starting to move on this one. But the $0.50 has been a bit of a bamboozler. We've been up to the $0.50 multiple times. I'm talking about that 11:05 time slot. We were up there, rejected. We got to the 6 1/4, 6 1/3, and rejected that. So I'd like to see a 5.5 take on a closing basis before I can be persuaded to get back into this with size. So we'll keep looking at that one, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm back in GME. I know our lesson of the day was rounded bottoms, and you might look at this chart and say, hey, Adara, isn't this kind of a rounding bottom? I had that thought myself, so that's why I wanted to say it. Like, we did have slightly higher lows here, right? We're trying to skirt up. However, sorry for that being so aggressive. We had this topping tail candle here at 28.10s, which is a lower high. So that kind of made me think there is still some potential here. We break into 20s, bye, GME. But the thing is, you miss 100% of the trades you don't make, 100% of the shots you don't take. And so if you see something you like, you kind of owe it to yourself to take those opportunities. For me, on the balance of the evidence, with the fact that GME has been a little bit weaker on the day, and the fact that even when we have had these lower highs, they're still coming into that 27.70 area, I still think I have a shot. And to quote Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton, I'm not throwing away my shot. So we're gonna have to try to do that here for this GME. Hopefully GME doesn't rise up though, because that would be pretty antithetical to my short trade. So let's see how this goes here for my GME. I have no interest in adding to GME right now, but we're gonna try trading it for the time being. Tesla though is curling up, so I have no interest in a Tesla short. Let's look at TSLA. Oh, a great look for TSLA. Congrats to anybody who was long this name, continuing to have its little move to the upside here on the 9 EMA. Like I said though, 179.30 to 40, that's a level I find really fascinating for a rejection. So Tesla, just because I said you look great, doesn't mean that I won't get it back in if you reject that. If you reject that, it is on like Donkey Kong. Speaking of which, let's take a look at DraftKings. DraftKings down in the day, I only pulled this up because I said the Donkey Kong thing. Oh, it was like half a chair pushback. We have these slightly lower highs here, higher lows. I like the VWAP projection, but it's not anything I'd feel comfortable trading at these levels. Well, there was something, GME I'm gonna have to get out of, but I'm gonna take a look here quickly at Adobe, because that has earnings. Also, Fabian was saying that'd be crazy, because if Obi and I were on the midday and he traded Adobe, because people like to call, Adobe, so that would have been pretty funny. That would have been like punception. Adobe really rangy. If it did not have, oh my God, the spread isn't even that bad. Adobe, don't do this to me. 15-penny spread in a range? Adobe, you're gonna make me blush. Okay, I might actually be involved in Adobe. Adobe is going on my side chart. That is for darn sure. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Just looking at Softy at this level, looking to move back into that 443 area. Got stopped out of Meta on this one, but we took a nice little beak wetter on that one, so I didn't get too much damage, but a nice 20-period bounce and pop on MSFT. So looking for a move back up on this one. First beak wetter is at 75s. Keeping an eye on Tesla still, because if we get to that 180 area, I definitely want to look short on TSLA. It's getting back into that mid 179, so I definitely am taking note of that. I've put in an alert for the high 170s, 179.79 on TSLA, because that 180 area is of interest to me. Goggles is coming back down into the volume weighted average price at 176. That could be an interesting bounce off that level. Goggles has been quite strong on the day. It hasn't been a bad stock to trade, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. What else is going on? NVIDIA is definitely in a bit of a tighter range at the moment, 130.50 to 131.50, so a bit of a dollar range right now on NVDA. Keeping my eye on that one. That could be an interesting one to play. Amazon is still within that range, very much tighter though. The last about 20 minutes, it got all the way up into the higher end at around this 183.47, but for the most part, it's kind of like stuck in the middle of that range. So tougher to play that one. You're gonna have to pack your patience for that name. So we'll see exactly what we get there. But Softy kind of going against me at these levels, so I'm gonna have to get out of it there. I don't really have a read well on this market, so I think I'm done trading for the day. So if anybody wants to analyze anything, I'll analyze it, but I'm not going to take any more trades.
Yeah, I like that. Right now, too, I want to address, I put this in the chat because I think, I've been short GME earlier in the day, but I think this is like the day that I guess, like the moment, because I think it started to register in the chat because people were like, short GME, like, are you all good? What is going on? So I stayed short GME. I know I said I was like going to look at it, but the thing is, I said 2820s. We could not take 2820s with the viciousness. Now we have a topping tail candle. One of my biggest Achilles heels with trading, my hamartia, my fatal flaw, to go back to like 10th grade literature class, has always been my panic selling. I panic sell like nobody's business. If you could get paid to panic sell, I'd be a millionaire. I have an issue with it. So basically now what I'm trying to do is try to curb that instinct. That being said, am I still all comfy in GME? No, I'm not. It's GME. You're never comfy. But I said the other thing too that I found was successful in my GME trades yesterday, which are both long and short, was not treating it like it's GME, just acting like, being aware that it can run, but also it's like a dare. You trade a lot of NVIDIA, you trade a lot of Tesla. All those stocks can run like crazy. You can't have some weird bias with it just because it is gimme. You have to treat it like it's any other stock, so that's what I'm trying to do here with GME. So yeah, GME espresso instead of the me espresso there for Sabrina Carpenter. Hopefully we can, be carpenters ourselves and build a nice little short here. I'm just taking these range pops. What else is, oh yeah, if you guys want to submit any tickers like say GME or Microsoft or whatever, you know what to do. You want to see Sharif, who is again mustache is not a ticker, on the green screen, look at your stocks. All you have to do is go in the chat right now. You have exactly 1 hour left to do it. And you're going to say, exclamation point, join, GME, AMD, Tesla, Microsoft, Meta. I don't know. You pick a ticker you like. These are just some examples. You go in there right now because if you don't vote, your voice is not heard. It's a weird, we believe in a democratic system at Trader TV Live. Also, Fed Mester speaking at 1:15. She's actually retiring on June 30th. This could be one of her last speeches. She also spoke this morning. Then we've also got Fed's Goolsby at 2 p.m. and then another Fed Cook, who is going to be cooking there at 7.
All right, good recovery here for META, looking to go to the high side. So now breaking the 50 for the first time. VWAP is hanging out right at the print that we closed yesterday, 503.60-ish area. Could be an interesting area for a long into that area or a rejection off that 503.5, 503 and 2/3. It's been lower highs and lower lows right now on META. So I'm not taking any more trades. Just want to put that out there. So don't send me anything that you want me to trade. If you want me to look at something for you, absolutely we'll do it. Yeah, there's Infinite Randy. Shout out to Randy. Good look there. So the NQ, oh, I didn't even notice that the NQ is above 19.6 again, but definitely still stuck within the top end of that range at that 37, kind of 40-ish area. You've got a couple of prints north of that area, but for the majority of the time, you've really kind of been ranging sideways from this area down into, sometimes you get into that break of 19.6 into 19.5 3/4, but most of the time you are bouncing after 19.6. Most of the time, and by that I mean like 11, when we got into that area again at 12.30, those have been very good areas to defend. But we're definitely near the top end of the range right now. Keep your eye on that if you're interested in going short. Apple just took 212 again, nice recovery. First time it's been above the 10 exponential since 1135. The first time it's done that, breaking through 212 and the 10 exponential. Let's see if it rejects off the 20 exponential. That's at 212 1/4. Softy right back into the high. Should have stuck with that one, but just not my trading day. And my patience it's Friday patience today. I'm already at the beach. My mind is already elsewhere. This one moving up to the high side, looking for a 443 touch in and around that area. Meta also did stop me out sadly, but yeah, finding some resistance at that whole dollar area there. Tesla is still on its way up, but still in the mid 179s. It still hasn't triggered my alert, but I'm going to delete this alert because I'm not going to trade it. So we'll look for that 180 touch. If it does make its way in and around there, I'll let you guys know. NVIDIA still very much sideways and has been since that bottom end trough that we made at 1150. The range has been essentially 130.75 and 130, kind of 50, maybe 130.25. The closing prints near the 25s. The wicks near the 50. So that is the look there. The NQ, as I mentioned, still stuck in that level, but goggles now has come down off the highs at 177. It is looking for possibly here a 176 defend where the volume weighted average price is. There is an interesting area, price action area here at 179.90, 179.80. So even if VWAP doesn't hold or the whole dollar level, there is price action support just below that area, not by much. So we'll keep eyes on all those bad boys and keep an eye on AAPL as it's broken, as I mentioned, through the 10 period for the first time since essentially a half past the hour at 11. Let's look at some of these other ones like Longeveron. This one did break through the 50. We've been talking about it using the 50 as resistance after using it as support. You got the print there into 350, but the closing print brings us right back down below the 50 again. This one looks like a very much an inverse hammer candle, a topping tail at the moment. KAVL, this one also curled up decently into that 5 3/4, but right back down into 5 1/4. This one hasn't respected these indicators, whether it's a 20, the 10, VWAP. This is really kind of just like take your pick where this one's gonna bottom out. Maybe a trend line would work here because there are higher lows certainly from that initial dip that we had at 1035. So yeah, it looks very much consolidated, but when you actually look at it a little bit deeper, it is putting in those higher lows. So we'll keep an eye on KAVL. GameStop just curled back above the 10 and the 20. It hasn't been able to break the 10 and the 20 for a little while now. It's been consolidated here, it looks like, at that 28 1/3 to the high side of there.
Yeah, I got out of my short here, and I want to talk because I saw Michelle Hebert saying, and Dara, isn't GME forming a rounded bottom in the area of support? Why the short? So I actually did mention on the show too, I know the rounded bottom was kind of there, but for me, the rounded bottom was not a good enough reason for my purposes and how I was trying to trade it to get out of the short. Now, why? Because that 28.20 was an area of rejection. To be clear, it's still rejecting. I got out where I did because we got above that 28.20 and I said, Dara, cut the cord here, get out, bye-bye GME. I'm okay with that, but I still think we need that decisive break into that 28.30s for this to continue to curl higher. Now I just want to clarify, things can have a certain look, but you have to take it how you want to take it. Also, I was going to scalp this into 27.80s, right, 27.70s. So for my purpose, I still feel like this was, a realistic approach to the trade. It just didn't work out. So I did want to clarify that. I think there are multiple ways to trade the same ticker. Happy I got it where I did. GME now pushing above that 28.30s. Like I said, to me, this is a level where we actually do see that curl up. So I just wanted to address that trade because I am aware it had a bit of a rounded bottom, but for my purposes, there were other things I liked on it. So there we go. Good times. As long as you trade things responsibly, I think good times. Also, Kyle Burnett, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Loretta, make a mester of this market one more time. I like that. I like the pun. Also, Loretta could turn this market Lored today. But also the thing is, too, is Loretta Mester, I don't know if this is necessarily going to be the last day of speeches, but again, June 30th retirement. Then we have the Cleveland Fed vice president taking over while she is gone until August. Then we get our brand new Fed, who is Beth Hammock. So shout out to new Fed Hammock that's going to be coming in soon. That'll be a good time over here. Shout out to Michelle Hebert and everybody who got that breakout here on GME. Didn't get it with a ton of viciousness, a ton of energy. We're gonna have to wait and see. I have no interest in shorting this though until I see more levels I like. Nvidia, hello, I see you. Nvidia here, that's still GME. Nvidia getting, I still like this 131 short. I'm down in this name right now, but again, if I see something I like, I absolutely will take it. Looks like this could be the trade. I want to wait till we do our lesson of the day. I do not want to be in any NVIDIA, especially during the lesson of the day, but I have eyes on NVIDIA. Adobe as well here. Adobe, I said I like the range, the top and churn. Then we made a slightly lower high. What we do with the 90 MA could be interesting. If we reject here, I'm absolutely going short. IWM at 198.45, a level that I like. Let's take a look here at Broadcom as well, because Broadcom had a nice broad move to the upside yesterday, and Broadcom like, oh, what? Yesterday's move wasn't good enough? How about I give you a $40 move to the upside today? Look at this bounce here. This is actually, I think, a gorgeous roundy bottom here on Broadcom. This could be textbook. Lower high, lower high, lower high, higher low. Continue to the upside, pushing off the 90 MA, near highs of day. Great look here for Broadcom. IWM looking tasty. That Adobe potential 90 MA rejection I have on eyes on. Tesla here is getting interesting as well. Trying to push off the 90 MA. I don't have a read on this either way. I think it could be a long, but again, these aren't levels I like, so I'm going to be staying out unless I see things I like. You want to make sure you're not forcing yourself into trades that don't make sense. SPY continuing to climb a little higher here. Yeah, just. Oh, what about AMD? I haven't looked at AMD in a bit. I want to shout out Ponzi Fonzie for calling that 158 hold. We did indeed hold 158. Nice look here for AMD. Now we're trying to find a little bit of support at that chop and turn area around 158.40. Could be interesting, but I actually did evict AMD from my side charts in favor of Adobe.
All right, let's have a look and see what is moving on the day. Here is the watch list. We'll see what is green and what is red. As Adara mentioned, AVGO, great trade today, just printed highs, 17.20, almost 24, 23.96. They're down into 18s. Great look on AVGO. The other one that I kind of mentioned earlier, VFS having an outlying day, up 10%. You can see that bad boy up a decent amount there. These are the memes. You can see most of them are red. Chinese ADRs as well, all in negative territory, save and except for DIY, that is Didi Global, which is 21 billion. This is an ADR, obviously, and it trades on the OTC. But everything else in ADR territory is negative. So is crypto. Everything in crypto is negative. Even MicroStrategies was definitely got an upgrade today after its convertible note offering of 700 million. They were up nicely in the pre-down, though. Now, Riot, the worst of the miners, down 5.5% after its acquisition of Bitfarms to expand its offering, and it was a hostile takeover from what I'm reading here. That's interesting. Looks like it had to raise a stake 14% from earlier this week. Oh, that's interesting. So looking to attempt to, buy them out with money, it looks like what's being done here. Cloud computing and IT security, not a bad look for some of these names today. Zscaler, the best of the bunch with almost 2% in the green. It had its own catalyst today, which was JP Morgan upgrading it, as well as other other rating agencies as well. It also had its own kind of technology conference earlier in the week, and they talked obviously a lot about AI, so getting some benefit from that. Snow looks like here, Snowflake, and moving in sympathy because it doesn't have a headline. Moving down here, Affirm really taking it on the chin today, 6 3/4 in the negative after running up nicely the past few days on news that it was going to have an association with Apple and Apple Pay, basically giving up the entire move there. As you can see, got up to 39s. Now we're all the way back down, trying to defend 30 with 30.95, the low of the day right now on AFRM. Upstart, faring a little bit better on the day, still down as well, 2 2/3. SoFi, I know you and Big Kyle were talking about that. Another negative 5% day as that one breaks through $7 yesterday. Now it's on the way down to 6.5. Bit of a tougher look there. Also, Robinhood in negative territory as well. Looks like all the fintech area is in negatory. Likewise with weed, all of marijuana is negatory on the day. A bit of a mixed bag with pharma and biotech. Not really much happening in that area there. What do we got? Solar, can you be surprised? It's negative again. Even FSLR, which has been doing quite well lately. You'll be able to see the daily chart on this. FSLR has been very much the outlier in the solar world. And I submit to you that it's likely due to the fact that they create their solar panels and their capacitors in the United States, and that'll exempt them from the 100% tariff that is coming to the solar panels and electric vehicles that are made in China. So FSLR, even though it's been up big lately, down almost 6% on the day today. Spotify, as you can see there, a decent move, 2 1/3%. Not really seeing anything specific with Spotify aside from this Guggenheim price target upgrade. Didn't have eyes on this in the morning. It's a $50 price target upgrade from $350 into $400. Decent day there for Spotify. But yeah, mixed bag today, mostly red. And then Shopify. How can we forget the Canadian company Shopify? Shopify is at day's high. It just printed 68.21 right now. It has been up and to the right, this stock. It's been anything off the the red line, which is the 50 period here on Shopify. This one had multiple upgrades this morning. Here it is. Why is it trading higher? Friday, Evercore RSI. Mark Mahaney upgraded the stock from in line to outperform in a price target of $75. That's a decent premium from where it's trading at. He noted the 30% pullback in the stock from the 52-week high has provided an attractive entry opportunity for him. So he's looking to buy that up, and so are other people because this thing is up and to the right today, Adara.
Yeah, shop a high.
Shop a high.
Yeah, shop a fly. Shop a fly. Yeah, shop a flying. Also, we have to vote, guys, as people in the world, but also for tickers. If you want to go see your ticker be represented on the big screen, and by the big screen, I mean Sharif on the green screen. And Obi and Neil will chat about it. And you have 46 minutes left to do so. You go in that chat right now. You go ! Join, space, $ Apple, Tesla, Amazon, NVIDIA, GME, SoFi, IBIT. I don't know. You guys know what tickers you want. You put those in the chat right now. I always feel like an auctioneer when I do this segment. But yeah, let us know what tickers you're looking at, whatever tickers you're fancy, and then you might be able to have your ticker seen on the screen. But again, no shirts, mustache, not a ticker. Thank you so much to Big Kyle for the $2 super chat. Etsy down, just shy of 2% again today, ... or either way, there's periods. Let's take a look here at ETSY. Oh, it's a flat bottom break. It looks like we're setting up here. Lower high, lower high. Now we're seeing this 90 MA and VWAP, tip top, tip top. Yeah, this short here at 59s is it's a gorgeous look here. Shout out to you, Big Kyle, for mentioning this one. I think the top and short are on VWAP right now, or not, 90 MA gives me a bit of skepticism. But I think the fact that we have had what looks like we're coiling towards this breakdown of 58.60, I don't think it's a bad look at all. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Yeah, Etsy, Etsy sells a lot of things on their website, but right now their stock is selling off. We did have a bit of a coil higher here, but now we're breaking down, making a lower low and trying to break below this previous low, going back to early May here around 59.20. So keep an eye on ETSY, Etsy, getting a little bit messy. Tesla and NVIDIA both having topping tail candles around interesting levels here, that being 131 for NVIDIA and around that 179.40 previous support there for TSLA. Also, let's look at GME. GME did have that move up, and like I said, I am not rushing to short GME. I am not inherently bearish on GME. I just like shorting stocks in general, and if I see technicals I'll get involved. GME doing a bit of a top and turn here at VWAP. Around this level, I like around that 28.28. Now, we did have this coil up here, and I was really curious to see what we do at that 28.60, 28.80 area, because that was a bit of a top and turn area for us earlier. What we did was we had this big old topping tail candle. We're trying to find support here at the 90 MA. Again, no interest in rushing into this relationship with GME. GME is a little bit tumultuous, You want to make sure you buy the dinner first and everything, go on a couple dates, see how it's going before you put a ring on it. But this GME could get a little bit interesting for me here, but it's not something I'm going to be rushing into in any way. I also liked, shout out to Obi, because I was looking at this Amazon over here, and Amazon's an interesting Amazon for me. And by that I mean we're getting a little bit of a range. I always forget I have the 1 minute candle for Amazon on my side chart for some reason, and I trade on the 5, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, look at Amazon in the 1 minute. This is super rangy. It's not perfect, mind you, but got that 182.70, 182.90. I might scalp this later. I think this could be an interesting look there. We'll have to see which Wazos this Amazon would like to go. I also want to shout out to Sheree for calling out this Amazon range earlier, because I definitely agree. It is present. Anything else you're looking at before the...
Yeah, Meta just rejected off the volume-weighted average price. We were talking about this VWAP area being an interesting area for a short because it also was the area where we closed yesterday, 503.5 and 2/3, generally that area. It's also a consolidation area top that we got into at that area earlier on, or that time slot, between 11:15 to 10:30. So it was an area top there. Does it reject again? Good recovery today from Meta on the bottom there, defending 500 after it had weeks of trouble with 500 after that earnings report. You can see possibly here a bit of an inverse head and shoulder on the 5. So if we get that break above the VWAP or the closing print here, I would be kind of weary to continue to try to short this, as it could be reversing to the high side here. It's only marginally negative on the day, essentially flat, 5 or 0.09%. Also, Softy broke the 20 again, but it's had this kind of propensity to break the 20 and not respect it, but continue to trend higher as well. So careful with that. I'm not basing anything off the 20 today on Softy, but the 20 is featuring here with Apple as it broke the 10 for the first time since 11:35, And then, yeah, the deeper retracements, as we've been talking about, come into the 20 on a trending stock, and this one absolutely did 212 and a quarter, and now it's giving you 50 pennies because it's down to 211 and 3/4. So AAPL headed right back down again, Dara.
Yeah, I was just looking at that AAPL. That's an interesting little level there, interesting Apple to bite at. Also, those videos of that Craig guy who was announcing Apple Intelligence, like running around the stairs is so funny. They were talking about that in that the Compound What Are Your Thoughts podcast, how the videos of that guy just like running like crazy. Yeah, shout out to Craig of Apple. Also shout out to our podcast, which you can watch every single Saturday at 10 a.m. It is called the Freedom and Wealth Podcast. It has its own channel. That's how special it is. You get to see Sean and Brendan. They're going to be talking about freedom and wealth and how to achieve and attain both of those things. So shout out to that for sure. Let's take a look here at the rounding bottom pattern though. So this pattern is going to be a chart pattern. It's characterized by a series of price movements that graphically form the shape of a U. So you have lower highs and then some higher lows. Rounding bottoms are usually found at the end of extended downward trends, and they signify a reversal in the long-term price movement. So not only is it a change in pattern, it's a change in sentiment, which is what makes it really cool. But let's talk about understanding it. Let's put the U in the U-shaped form is going to be for understanding. How do you understand the rounding bottom? Well, first you need your U-turn shape. The rounding bottom gets its name from the distinct U-shaped appearance on the price chart. And then also your formation process matters too, because you don't just have a rounding bottom out of nowhere. You have to have your extended downtrend first. The price action will decline steadily, then reach a low point, at which point it will begin a gradual ascent in a curved formation, and it will resemble a big old bowl. Let's talk about this. Look at the lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Then, we get a higher low. Oh, we get another higher low, another higher low. We continue, then we push off this resistance area, and then it's all flying over here. To quote Rocky, gonna fly now is this rounding bottom. Why do these rounding bottoms matter? Well, they are a reversal signal for sure. The rounding bottoms can act as potential trend reversal signals to suggest a shift from a downtrend to an uptrend. They also do reflect, again, as I said earlier, it's not just a pattern, it's a shift in sentiment, right? It's a potential inflection point where the buyers start accumulating and the sellers who are dominating the downtrend are like, let me get out. What about identifying rounding bottoms? So what you want to see is a downtrend confirmation. You want to see that the downtrend has been in effect. You want to maybe do that using trend lines, moving averages, etc. Then you want to see the curved bottom. You want to see the action in your price chart reach a low point and then slowly reverse, slowly flip upwards. The curved bottom, unlike your sharp V reversal, will suggest that you've got this period of consolidation and potential buying pressure emerging. So unlike the V-shaped retracement, shout out to Randy and his coinage of the V-shaped retracement, that's going to be a lot sharper. This roundy bottom takes its sweet time. It's like, wants to prove itself to you. It's like, look at me, come involved, get English involved, I don't know. That's what you want to see there. Also, you want to see your neckline formation. So as the price climbs, it's going to face resistance at a specific price level, and this level is going to roughly correspond to the horizontal line across the top of the bottom. That's going to be called the neckline. So look at this. You've got your downtrend, then you have your rounding bottoms, higher highs, higher lows, after the lower highs, lower lows end. Then you push above your neckline, because look at this key area. You saw this form as resistance a couple times, right? Not anymore. Push above it. Nice look there. What about the neckline cup and handle? This is also interesting, right? You've got your slump. Also, they spelled slump wrong, which is kind of weird. Slump 'em in volume. Shout out to wherever this pattern is. Also want to shout out Sharif. Thank you so much for preparing the lessons.
No problem.
Really patient over here on how to trade. So yeah, and then once you have that slump in volume, you have this recovery, you see these higher highs, higher lows, you retest that neckline, and then you push even higher. Also, GME dropping again here, guys. We get back to that 28.30 level again. GME cannot have it, and the game stops. We know it doesn't stop the lesson. Let's talk about trading these rounded bottoms. What you want to see is a breakout here above the neckline. You want to see the decisive breakout here with the closing price definitively higher than the resistance level, which suggests a potential trend reversal. Volume confirmation is also key. You want to see that increased volume on the breakout bar compared to the preceding consolidation to strengthen your bullish signal, which will signify a surge in buying activity and potentially confirm your breakout. What about your enter your stop loss level? You want to enter the trades shortly after the breakout confirmation because you don't want to get involved until, if you don't have proof, it's going to last, right? Then you want to basically place your stop loss order just below the point of the rounded bottom. So here's one example. You get your stop loss here right below that breakout area, and then you want to be taking profit if we break back above. So I like that look. Here's some extra tips and tricks. Aren't pattern management Isn't that such a fun thing when you can measure the patterns? There are a few types of trades, like, and the bull flags are another example where you can use aspects of the pattern to measure your profit-taking potential. And that one of those patterns is, of course, going to be your rounded bottom. So the depth of the rounding bottom can offer clues sometimes about the potential upside move. Usually, your measured height of the pattern, so from the bottom to the top of the neckline, is projected upwards from the breakout point to estimate a target price for the uptrend. Your time frame awareness is also interesting because rounding bottoms can form on various time frames. They might take weeks to develop on a daily chart or months on a weekly chart. So consider the time frame when setting your trading strategy. These patterns are fractal, as Sharif always says. So whatever pattern time frame you're using, be aware of it on that time frame. Also, what about confirmation? What is it? Key. Sorry, I got aggressive. Rounding bottoms are valuable, but you always want to use them in tandem with other key indicators like the RSI or the MACD for a more comprehensive, well-rounded, pun intended, rounded bottom, trading approach. This will help gauge the momentum and potential overbought or oversold conditions, but always be aware of risk management and maybe try in the sim first before you try with the real shmoney. Also, you know what you always want to try too? Vote for the ticker of your choice. You have 35 more minutes. Go in there right now. Exclamation point, join, space, $, Tesla, NVIDIA, something, Amazon, Google, Gimme, IWM, AMC, AMD. With that in mind, what are you looking at?
Whatever your choice is. I think a lot of people are going to want to see Shopify because we continue to trend higher on this name, now breaking through 68. 68.21 right now is the high a day on Shopify. Great trade for whoever took that one today. Great look there. Shout out to Shopify. The other trade that I want to bring you possibly here, halted at the moment to the downside, is LRHC. This one just showed up on my scanner. It's the #1 gapper right now, having done 4 1/5 million shares, halted at 110, the high a day 125, just a skosh off the previous halt level, which is a $1.24. Right now, I'll tell you the tap, if I can find it real quick here, LRHC. The tap on this is $1.10, so it's exactly where, is this a New York stock? Let me just check real quick here. No, it's a NASDAQ stock, so we should have the tape, we should have the auction price live as it happens. So right now, I guess there's maybe not that much exuberance. $1.10 is where it's halted at. 4.22 million shares traded on the day, and the float is 6.8 million shares. So definitely on the smaller end of things. All right, let's have a look at some of these other ones that we were talking about today. The futures breaking up here aggressively, and I don't know what's going on with the future. We just broke well through the high of days. Meta's at high a day right now, 19,668. Is that an all-time high? Oh boy, let me find out. Yeah, that's an all-time high. Well, no, this is the all-time high over here. Even though that happened at 8:30, that's 19,691. So that's technically the all-time high, even though that was a quick wick. But anyway, we're at day's high right now in the market, and NVIDIA is awakening. It's on its way to 132. There is resistance, though, at that price action top, right at that 132, which also happens to be resistance level 2 on pivots. There's also this one over here that's moving up nicely. META finally broke through the volume weighted average price. I kind of gave you the idea that this one, I'm not going to trade it because I'm not trading anything left on the day, but this was a neckline break over here. So this one looks, for the moment, that it's a bit of a bamboozler. It breaks through 503, goes to 504 and change, and then all the way down into 503.5 again. So we'll see if this one can hold up, or if it's a quick rejection off the volume weighted average price, and then we trend down again. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the case with the futures at high a day, because really nothing in the Mag 7 is at high a day right now. But the futures is at high a day. That's very interesting. I haven't seen that all too much before, where the futures are at high a day, the Mag 7 are not. So more market participation today. More what do they call that? More breadth that is being participated in by the market. Tesla still very much in this range here at 179 3/4. It's been very much that way all morning long. It hasn't broken through 180 since this candle over here, where the high was 180.36, and that was 10:05 a.m. So we definitely know for a fact that 180 was being used as previous support, now being used as resistance. The topping tail or the candle to make a new high today on the future, looking like a topping tail right now. It hasn't closed, but be on the lookout for that. Also, Google, as I mentioned earlier, at VWAP, holding VWAP quite well, hasn't broken at all. And so that 176 level and VWAP looking to keep this one from descending any further. Still up 0.5% on the day. Not too bad of a look. Let's go back into that LHRC name that we were talking about. Let's see what that one is up to. Did it move up again? Okay, so this one's unhalted right now, and it is almost at the exact same price it halted at, $1.13. It halted at $1.10. It did dip to 105 and pop into 120, and it's now finding itself somewhere in between. The volume's picking up. In the last 5 minutes, we've done over 1 million shares. So a lot of volume coming into this one, though, but it looks, hard to trade at the moment just because it can't stay open. LRHC, a midday mover. What is this one moving for? Here it is. La Rosa Holding shares are trading higher after the company filed a request for withdrawal from its registration statement on a Form S1. So that apparently has the market very excited, and this one is moving to the high side again. Coming into that high that we just put in, 120. It's printing 119s right now. Good look for this one. I ain't going to trade it, but interesting look right there.
Yeah, it might be called La Rosa, but it's certainly La Verde. It's green right now. Apologies for my terrible Spanish and Italian knowledge. Not the best. But you know what else isn't the best is this Tesla. It's not Tesla right now. I want to talk about this trade because I have qualms. I am filled with qualms, but I'm also not filled with a reason to leave, which is why I'm still in it. So I got short at the bottom of the range here. You might be like, Adara, why was that a choice you made? I'm asking myself that as well, but actually, no, I do know why I did it. We had these lower highs here on a candle basis, and I was like, sometimes when you have these, you can get your breakdown. You don't necessarily get back to the top. I should have waited, but the plan was always to kind of build as we got back to the top. As long as we stay below that 179.60s, and we've been able to do so thus far, I'm staying in this. I actually added because I did like that 45 level. That was, again, part of the plan was always to add. But yeah, I see it every time we get up to 60s, Tesla's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I mean, like, Tesla, if you want to stay below 60s, I'm good with that. I think this could be a bit of a bull flag and a breakout. I can acknowledge that this was not the type of trade I necessarily should have taken, but I have no reason to leave it yet. So alas, I will. And see, again, we get to 60s and Tesla freaks out. That being said, I can also recognize that these failures to break above 60s could also mean we get a crazy, nasty breakout when we do get above 60s, and poor me and my little short Cybertruck gets like, you know what I mean? We go to Della, who knows where. So we have to watch out for that as well. Just babysitting this TS to the L to the A. So we're gonna have to see how this goes. What else? NVIDIA just upside, upside, upside for NVDA. Let's see what we do here at that 132 level. That could get a little bit spicy here. Watching Tesla, did we get that move above 60s? No, we're still waffling around 60s. So just babysitting my Tessie over here. Let's see how that Tesla goes. That's TSA, which is, cool agency, but not a stock. Yeah, okay, we're gonna try to not panic here in this Tesla. GME, getting interesting here too. GME below one of my favorite levels on a technical basis, and that's gonna be the 9 EMA. This actually could be the short. While I was shorting Tesla, maybe I should have been shorting this GME here, because look at this 9 EMA rejection. This could actually get interesting. We had the rounded bottom, but we did find, how we had that neckline clearance that we talked about in the lesson? We did not get neckline clearance on Tesla. We got to that previous area, 2760s, and then we said, 2860s, and then we said no, no, no. So that could be another short for me in GME, but I'm not going to rush in. I do think, though, I'm going to have to manage this Tesla as we try to continue to curl near our 179.60s.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, guys. What are we looking at here? Shopify is still moving up, guys. It's been decent. I mean, who's going to complain about this? Look, it's not moving parabolically, but every single touch off the 10 has bounced up. So if you were looking to scalp anything, I guess maybe pennies here with size, this is done well for you. And to be quite honest with you, it's had enough liquidity for you to be able to scalp with size at levels. The volume on the day, shop, not spot, shop, has done about 10 million shares, 9 1/3 million shares. So that'll be plenty for that. I don't know how much you guys are scalping, but yeah, that'll be plenty, at least for me, to be able to get in, get out. And to be quite honest, the spread isn't all that bad on it. Not for a name that I've seen be much more spready in the past. So good look for shop here. What else we got? What else we got? Meta did a bit of a topping tail candle through VWAP and then made a lower high, so that looks awfully bearish. If I was trading, I would be going short below the low of this candle at 503.18. I'd have a resting order for this to make a new low. I think that that would be awfully bearish. 2 topping tail candles, one shorter than the other on that name. So Meta looking to head down, and there it goes. Just as I say that, Meta heading nicely down here, breaking that 503.25. Yeah, and headed nicely down. So that's a decent move there because we almost touched 504. 503 out of 75 on that last candle. Let's see where Meta could make it down to. There's price action support at 502.89, 503. Like we could hold up at 503 over here. Look how many times we kept bouncing up. Like look at that area over here. We crest out, then finally we break out through that 503 area. Now coming back down to test it. Well, that'll be another interesting concept to take 503 long if it was such a resistance level to begin with. So I'll be watching that to see what it does. Apple came back near low of day again, 211, 45, 30 in that area. So that was a clean 20-period rejection on Apple for the first time on the day. It hadn't even gotten to the 20-period since before 1135, since that big down move that it started making ever since it broke the IB low. It hasn't been above the 10. So that's a good retracement there. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for not having taken this Meta trade. That would have been a decent one there, but nice red candle coming in here on META as it does reject VWAP, and I hope nobody got caught going long there because that looked really good. It looked like it was really breaking through that level. The only thing that you really could have done to defend against this kind of candle is wait till it closed. And then, you know, there's all sorts of FOMO that you fear or you feel waiting for that candle to close because you don't want it to go up even more and get away from your entry. So the reason I say that is because, well, when you get these topping tail candles, you don't know if they're going to be topping tail or not until the candles close, and this one closes every 5 minutes. So tougher look. I hope nobody got caught in that. But if we do continue up, then I do hope you got caught in it. So shout out to whoever took META. Google still trending at VWAP, still not even breaking it though, and there have been no prints south of 176 over here. We've defended 176 quite well. 05s is the lowest I see. 09 on this candle. This one has 05s again. Yeah, so strict defend of the volume weighted average price. Something that I haven't seen on any other name today in Mag 7 world. There hasn't been that strict level. It's been kind of zones up and down. So we'll continue to keep eyes on that. Topping tail candle right now on the future. Even though this one's still got 4 minutes left. Popping up into 668 and then coming right back down to defend 50. So that is the look there. Let's move to some of these small cap gappers. Let's see what we're doing here. Yeah, not much Longeveron below VWAP. KAVL still, you know, really having trouble holding 5, but just barely. This is the one that I think might be interesting here. So Shopify is starting to curl a little bit. So I kept singing the praise of this one, saying, oh, how it's holding the 10, it's doing really well. Well, let's see. It's about to break the 10 right now, and now for the first time on the day, we're getting all these successive candles with lower highs. That hadn't been the case. Usually, you know, we kind of equaled the highs of the previous candle and then continued up. Now we're kind of looking like we're putting in possibly around a top. The first thing I'd say is look for a retracement into the 20. So that 67.80 area could be a good dip trade if we break 68. But then if we really break it and we really keep coming down, look for that 67 defend. That's the top end of this crest over here. So 67 was a level price action resistance. You also have VWAP right in front of 67, 67.05. So this one gives up the ghost and you guys are still trading into the afternoon and it makes its way down here. I'd be looking to go long 67 just based on that price action support in VWAP. But we'll have to see where VWAP is if this makes it down. Right now, it's actually making me look bad because I kept saying this is topping out and right now it's still defending the 10. So that $68 level still acting as a good price action. Support area. That's really all I got at the moment.
How dare Shopify make you look bad?
Oh yeah, it's all good. Wouldn't be the only one today.
Shout out to Sharif here. I'm always so happy to be on this desk with our pal Trenda as well. Also, thank you, Sharif, for covering for me while I dealt with that Tesla. So yeah, I dealt with the Tesla, and I want to talk about the Tesla because, like I said, I don't want to say squeamish, but I feel like my approach to this trade was not the vibe. It wasn't it. You know what I mean? I should have been doing the book scalping. This I took almost purely on chart, which has like never been my strong suit, right? So I got involved with what would end up being 2/3 of the total position at 197.17, 179.17. This begs the question, why? So, I mean, the reason I got involved is because we had these lower highs. I thought we'd have this breakdown right here, right there. I was anticipating and I wasn't participating, or I was anticipating. I was participating too early because I wasn't anticipating, and that was the problem. I added to the position. This was a planned addition. I was always trying to build the position at the top of this range. I said if we get above 179.60, buy. We knocked on the door of 179.60 viciously multiple times, but we didn't break above it. I ended up de-risking at 179.40s just because I thought we could have gone higher, but I had no reason to leave. I ended up saving the position. We got this flush here near 179, which is where I got out. Basically flat on this. Tesla's still my best name of the day. But yeah, I just wanted to address this because I think just because a trade looks like it could be interesting, and I still stand by the Tesla short. Like, we're below the 90 EMA now. We're petering out. This Tesla is on the downside to, I think Delaware we're headed is even lower. But I just wanted to address that. We do have, I think, be cognizant of the fact that this was resistance earlier, 179.20, now becoming support. That being said, if I see something I like on the book, I'll wheel short it again, but I should not have been getting short on chart patterns. That was a mistake, and I want to address that, the mistake that I made there on Tesla. What else is going on here in these markets? Yes, sir, guys, I know I do talk a little bit quickly, but as I said, I don't mind being a bit of a speed talker because I know these markets move just as quickly. If Tesla keeps ranging, I'll keep ranging with it. Apple is, someone in the chat was saying, I think it was Neo Roberts making a pun I liked. Not Neil Roberts, but Neo Roberts, saying the Apple shorts look tasty. I agree, but I'm not taking this thing short until I see a rejection of 212.20. I think that's going to be the vibe here for Apple. Get to Apple. No, I mean, you're already Apple. You don't have to get to Apple. Get to 212.20, Apple. Then I'll take you short. Crunch on that Apple there. That's a nice look here. Microsoft just continue. Oh, Microsoft flat top break, mayhaps perchance. That's what it's looking like. Higher low, higher low. Let's see if we do that 443. Pop the top off there of that MSFT. Manuel Palma asked him about Google VWAP retracement. Let's see if we can search for those levels for you there, Manuel Palma. Oh. Okay. Honestly, I like the VWAP, Manuel Palma, but that's not my favorite thing I see here. The favorite thing I'm seeing here is look at this 176.50. We pop up to it earlier, have a lower high, continue to push higher. There's also this 175.80 level, but I think the level I really like here again, 176.50. We come up there, then we come up here again and bounce beautifully at this 176.50. Then we make a double top here, 177, come right back down. Now we're trying to crack back above 176.50. I think 176.50 to me is, if we can push above that, that to me means more than this bounce at VWAP. But I will agree with you there, Manuel Palma. The VWAP bounce, higher lows intact. There's a lot of ranginess in Google. A little bit disappointed. My goggles weren't on this one earlier. Also, Tesla breaking down to the downside. Still stand by getting out of this trade. My impetus for getting in was weak and bad. And now let's just keep going, making some more trades. Apple, if you reject, I'll be taking a bite out of you. I shouldn't do it because Sharif, you're always killing it with the Apple trades. I feel like Apple and Amazon are two that I find a bit harder to trade, but the Mag 7s cannot be equal.
Yeah, the Future just came back right into that high a day again, that same area that we got into, 69 1/4. That was the same top that we put in on the previous 5-minute candle. Or this is the 15. Actually, this is the 15. So double top on the 15 on the NQ. Let's flip to the 5 and have a look at there. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of topping tails for whatever reason at this level, 19,699. But crucially, the higher lows is what's indicative of over here. So even though you're getting the topping tails, which showing you that there's a whole lot of buying, there you go, new high a day on the Future. The higher lows really here is kind of what you have to keep your eye on when you see these topping tails, or the higher highs on the topping tails as well. And you're getting both. You're getting higher lows and higher highs, topping tails or not. So good area to move up here. And that's helping a lot of these Mag 7 names, not really Tesla or anything like that, but NVIDIA. Look at the recovery here on NVIDIA. It's breaking through 132. It's on its way possibly into that high a day. We're only about 50 pennies off that high a day. 132.84. We're at 132.34 right now. You see Amazon coming into that higher end of the range as well. That 183.40, 183.30 has been a good area top. Essentially all day. There have been outlying candles like these ones over here at 10.20 and 10.25, but for the most part, it's been an established range, great range. And the other one, Meta, like this one was a bit of a tough one to trade for me, definitely, and continues to be on the read because we keep topping into that 504 area, but again, crucially, we're making those higher lows. So even though you're seeing selling come in around above the VWAP area, the buying is showing you that it's stronger than the selling vis-a-vis these higher lows. So we'll continue to watch these. Softy also coming in awfully close into the high of day. Again, 443 incoming on MSFT, 443.14 is the high of day on Microsoft. So very much a higher high, higher low look on Microsoft. Apple's rejecting off the 20 period again. It's getting a nice little bounce. You can make an argument, you know, I saw some of you guys saying in the chat, double bottom on Apple, 211 and a third. I wouldn't be so quick to confirm that. What I'd want is a neckline break, and that neckline break comes vis-a-vis a $0.25 break. So we'll have to wait and see if this one can break above a $0.25 on a closing basis. I mean, we know there's probably going to be people buying this on the market close. If it's Friday, they had that big event, there's probably going to be market on close orders to go, I don't know, I'm just assuming that it's going to be long, who knows. Yeah, so that break above the $0.25 would definitely be interesting as a long, but is still resisting at the 20 exponential. Oh, wow, did NVIDIA just get into high a day? No, we're still very close to high. Definitely at local highs, though. We broke the 50 penny level on the high a day, and that's really pushing the market up here. We're about to touch that 132.25. That's where 132.33 actually is where the closing prints on this crest is, but the tops take us into 84. It looks like we're not going to have to wait all that long to find out if we break high a day or not, because it looks like NVIDIA is on its way up. So is Apple. Unreal. Okay, here we go. So that $0.25 could be coming in quite soon here. But I got to tell you, this is a price action resistance level. We saw it before. We might see it again. We rejected off the $0.25 at 12.20. We rejected again at 1 o'clock. And here we are again. Third time. Could it be a charm? If this rejects again, then this is a range trade at the bottom end of the range on Apple. Because then, you know, we're rejecting off the tops and bouncing off the bottoms. We have two bounces off the bottoms. And if we get here, it'll be the third bounce off that top. So we'll keep an eye on AAPL. A decent week for Apple, but giving back some now. Here's the $0.25 that we're watching right now on Apple. Didn't close above there, and this candle has 4 more minutes left to close. But I gotta tell you, there's people looking to short here because there was a whole bunch of selling coming in there, Adara, as we broke into 24s, dipped aggressively into 14s. So we'll see if Apple can break out or stay in this range. Doesn't matter to me either way. I ain't trading it. But, oh, wow, Amazon right back into that top again, 183.30. We were talking about this level on AMZN. This has been an interesting level, definitely today on Amazon. The only concern I'd have is that this higher low kind of, well, it's not even a higher low. That's not a fair assessment. No, I want this 182.70 area. This was an area where we bottomed out before. So I was going to say this is a higher low relative to this, but this is a previous area bottom. But Amazon is on the way up here, and I don't know if the winds of change are coming on the future, but you know, it's not really that aggressive of a move on the future. But anyway, but it is an aggressive move on Meta. So yeah, wow. Okay, well there you go. 504.50 break, and now looks like we might head into 505. 505.18 is the resistance level on the pivots, Adara.
Yeah, I did. You know, I was going to say, I got short Apple, yay. And then I immediately fat-fingered out of some of it. So slightly lost a little bit on that fat finger, but it's all good. It's all good. I like this Apple because you were saying, you know, a lot of people would probably want to short that. I did want to short on on this Apple. So we're gonna have to see what we do here. I'm risking here into 212.30s. So I'm risking about 15 pennies. I'm very cognizant of this bottoming tail candle here off that 90 MA, but I think this range right now could still be intact, and I'd rather be involved. You know, and actually I'm gonna add to this at 212 because I did accidentally sell half my position. So just so I have the same amount I started with, you know what I mean? That's what I want to do here. I think Apple will be biting me instead of me biting the apple here. So we're gonna have to watch that. I am in Tesla as well, which I want to talk about here. I know there's some chatter like, why are you short Tesla? Why I'm short Tesla. We're below the 90 EMA. Also, I appreciate Neil was asking like, you had a good price in the Tesla short initially. Why'd you get out? I got out because I didn't like where I get in, and like I said, I really don't feel like I got involved with this short for the right reasons that time. Now though, I love this short. I think like that rejection of the 90 EMA, that's what I needed to see to get, really toasty with it. You know what I mean? To feel really good about this curl here, this curl below the 90 EMA. I want the curl, and we're gonna be scalping out here at 179, just above 179s. That's where we'll start scalping. I do want my breakdown. This is exactly the same way I approached this trade earlier, is what I'm gonna be trying to do here. Breakdown, taking little nibbles, but if we break down even further, I'd be pleased as punch. I think Apple is gonna punch me in the face. I don't think it wants me here anymore. But you know what we want is we want you to vote for whatever ticker you want to see the big kahunas cover on the afternoon show. How do you do that, you may ask? Exclamation point, join, space, $, GME, Meta, Amazon, Google, Tesla. You know what tickers are. Put your ticker of choice there, right there in the chat. Also, I do want to shout out our moderator, Bears versus Bulls. Thank you for doing such a great job. Fostering such an awesome community and killing it every single day. So happy to be here with Sharif and this amazing community every single day. Shout out to everyone here, just having a good time and trying to learn to trade every day. Tesla, stay below that 179.40, and I'll be able to stay inside the Cybertruck because the doors are open. Unfortunately, they aren't real Cybertrucks, but they are in this Cybertruck over here.
A new one is making a high here. LICY just showed up on my scanner. It's at day's high. It's fighting with 5 right now. It's almost at 1 million shares, a $4 name, $110 million market cap.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was.
$110 million market cap. The float on it is at about 16 million shares. I actually don't see any sort of catalyst of any sort, but Li-Cycle Holdings is a Canada-based global lithium-ion battery resource recovery company and pure play lithium-ion battery recycler. Okay, so definitely having issues with this $5 area here, no question about it. 498 HOD, 485 it's trading at right now. I'm not going to trade this one, but I just wanted to point it out for all the small cap gapper traders. This one showing up on my screen up a cool 36.5 points there. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm keeping an eye on NVIDIA. It's having trouble with the $0.50 over here. Unsurprising. It didn't really feel like a bullish day, but this one did make it generally back into the highs at around 132.5. It didn't quite, though, make it back into that 84 area. I would submit to you, though, that the majority of the shorts were going to come in at the 2/3 of a dollar, owing to where these two candles closed, and that's what looks like is happening right now as this one comes back down into 132. It could find price action support, though, at 132, owing to the 10 and the whole dollar level. So be careful. Don't get caught into this one if you are short-minded, because it could be a bear trap. It looks like a hammer candle being bought off 132 right now. Wait for confirmation, but that is a good look there for whoever wants to get short. Possible double top on NVDA. Goggles did get a nice little bounce off VWAP, so this strict hold of 176 did end up paying dividend, and I hope someone took this because this one moved up 58 pennies off that 176. Not a bad move for Google, especially midday and with no catalyst. 176.56 is where it got up to there on that latest pump on the 5-minute chart, and it did hold VWAP quite strictly there, so great look. Wow, Meta. Meta is just bamboozling everybody. 504.75. It breaks above VWAP. It goes green on the day above 503.5, which was yesterday's closing print, right back down into that 503.5. So a $1.25 rejection there. Now, the question really is here, if you've cleared it by some distance, can you now use it as support? But I don't know if this is the kind of day we're really looking for that. It doesn't feel like that kind of day. It doesn't feel like the buyers are, out in full force, so to speak. So I'm going to keep eyes on Meta, but be wary of price action support here now that it's cleared it by well over $1 there. So decent look. AAPL finding price action resistance again at the $0.25, but it's not tanking in the same way. So I am a little hesitant here about taking any breakout or breakdown trades on Apple. I think the right trade right now is going to be a range trade with this 5 212 and a quarter to the high side, and obviously that 211, if you're really lucky, and a third to the low side. That's a whole dollar. They're not bad for a range trade. We'll have to see if Apple can continue to reject that 212 and a quarter, but that is a good look there for whoever's range trading that. Amazon is right at those highs, and it has been hanging out at those highs. That's funny enough. It hasn't really broken down quite yet, but it is specifically at the highs it's been at all day. In fact, the highest print on the day is only like 13 pennies higher than here. 183.54. That was the print that we got right at 10:05, but we're hanging out here. I don't know if history's any guide. I think we come all the way back down. If not all the way, then at least a VWAP here where 183 is that whole dollar retracement possibly. AMZN definitely still within a range on the day. And nothing else for me to look at. Let's go into the small cap gappers over here. KAVL still hanging out above 5, but doing absolutely nothing, and has been doing absolutely nothing since that last little pop here at 1250, about an hour ago now. So KAVL off my possible trade list, not that we're traded anyway. GameStop, AMC still, well below VWAP at the moment, but definitely off the lows. And Longeveron has just been stuck in this 50-period retracement, but there have been bamboozlers. Look at these candles over here. All the closing prints south of the 50, but you would have got probably wicked out unless you had your out over here. What the hell just happened on Longeveron? Wow. Oh, that was fake. Okay, so that was a fake little candle there. I thought it dipped into 3 quicker than you say. How do you do? But yeah, Longeveron is still fine. I wanted to mention one quick thing here. Shopify Unreal. This thing is held 68 very well. It's at high days right now. Shopify has not printed anything lower than the 10 period on the day. It has been up into the dang right. Let's see what we got over here for Shop. 5 and a third is how much it's up on the day. It's printed about 10.3 million shares, so definitely not a bad look there for Shopify, as it definitely benefits from that Evercore ISI pump there.
Yeah, 5 minutes left to vote for Shop, for Spot, for whatever you'd like us to spot and talk about on the, well, not us, it'll be the big desk, but Sharif will be there on the green screen. So yeah, if you want Neil and Obi to chat about your ticker of choice, there's a way to do that. It's really easy. You just go in the chat right now. You go !, join, space, $, whatever ticker you want to look at. Join, space, $, ticker of choice. Also, I'm selling this Tesla short. I don't want to say I'm getting weak-kneed because I'm not a stand by this, but we still have these lower highs. We did have that massive push though off 179. It got out 179, wanted 178.80s for the rest of it, and Tesla said no. The reason I added is because I noticed we did have a little bit of a something here, 179.20s. That's a level I've liked, so I did add to the position. As long as we stay below these 179.40s, no pops above that with the viciousness, I'm going to stay in this trade. I'm going to start piecing out a little bit more of this here, so we're going to be going for 10s, and then for 5s, and then a piece for the dream at 179 proper. So there we go. That's what's happening here on TSLA. No reason to leave. Trying to stay patient. Apple, I still believe in this range. I'd believe in it more if we broke below this 90 MA, which we can't do. I got out half at 212. I think we're going to get the rest out of right here because I just do not like this pop-up. If this top breaks up higher, that's going to be a bad look for me, so I just don't want to be involved in that. Tesla's still chopping, still churning, still living and learning and loving and laughing and all that good stuff. Also, I want to talk about, what did I want to talk about? Microsoft. So someone was asking, how do you identify a flat top? Because Microsoft isn't necessarily a flat top. I don't know if it was nice top necessarily or just in general. I think with the Microsoft, why I would call this a flat top is because you have higher lows throughout the day here, and you have more or less, again, it's never going to be perfect, but you've got something here around this 443. Look at these bounces here off the 90 MA. I think that is an interesting look. So that's what I've got going on here for this Microsoft flat top. Also, I want to talk about Apple too, because Ramin was saying in my ear, she said, you should call it a poison apple, because every time you bite, you get more sick, and then you're Snow White. So shout out to Ramin for her amazing analogies. Also, I guess with the headband, I guess that's a good day to be Snow White. So thank you, Ramin, for the poison apple comparison. I enjoyed that. Also, Tesla, only in 1/5 left of Tesla. I want to address this Tesla. Someone was saying, I don't think Tesla's going to break below 178.50s. If you look at the book, that I'm taking Tesla as a scalp, so I was okay with that. If we get a couple more pennies here, I am pleased as punch. If we have another rejection of 179.20s, I'll continue to scalp and build that position. But right now, I just want to get out of Dodge. But instead of out of Dodge, I want to be out of my here Cybertruck. Also, Apple's interesting. Thanks again, Sheree, for pointing out this Apple earlier. Poison Apple. We'll have to wait and see. I'm out of Tesla. How are you doing?
So Meta rejected again off 504.75, but crucially, it's still at that volume-weighted average price level. It really hasn't broken down, and that higher lows trend that's been in place since these double bottoms over here at 1145 and 1150 still hasn't been broken. So even though it got extended there well above the 10 period, comes back into the 10 period if you're looking at that, which is the green line, still holding generally. So let's see if this is kind of a bull trap, getting everybody long above the volume-weighted average price on Meta and then pushing it back down. We'll find out shortly because it's at a critical area. Amazon, though, finally starting to show that, maybe the selling coming in at this consolidation area top. It's around that 40 penny area to 50 penny area, kind of take your pick. This has been a rinse and repeat level on AMZ on the day, so keep your eye on that. Goggles still above VWAP, and the double top that we were saying possibly here on NVDA still hasn't manifested, as it hasn't still broken down below 132, still above the 10, but definitely didn't touch anything near the high day at 84. The future, or just a few points, I was about to say, off the high of day there. So keep your eye on that. What else? Daily movers. KAVL finally breaks down below 5. So I guess that was really the trade here. Umpteen amount of touches at 5, and now it's breaking down well below 5 into that 470 area, trying to, I guess, hold off the 50, but I don't think that this one is going to really have too many people buying it around here. So watch out for an aggressive retracement here on KAVL. You're already seeing it on Longeveron. Longeveron just broke the consolidation area bottom here at 3 1/5. And then broke down into 297. In fact, it actually broke $3, but on a wicking basis, trying to hold the 200 on the 5 right now is LGVN. GameStop is retracing, kind of putting in a rounded bottom, so to speak, right into that volume-weighted average price area. The closing print on Amazon is a little bit above 29. It's at 29.12s or so, give or take. So that one is making a bit of a recovery. AMC, kind of the same thing, but not coming into VWAP, coming into the 50 period. AMC did break below 5 again, so this level has been an elusive level, at least on a closing basis for the day, because it gets well above it, then it retraces all the way back down. The sellers look like they're in control right now of AMC, as it just does the dance at the whole dollar level, a little bit above, a little bit below. So good look right now on that. Back to Apple over here. What is this one doing? The double bottom, still not really manifesting as a double bottom, but showing you that a range trade really here is manifesting at this 212 and a quarter with 211 and a third to the downside. Keep your eye out, though, for a break of the $0.50, which is where the 50 is. If that comes into the $0.50, I personally would be Gonzino on that. What else we got over here? We don't have much else to talk about. Let's see what the watch list is showing us. Let's come into the watch list over here, move up a little bit. What's going on over here? Let's see. AVGO was all the hype today. Wow, AVGO just printed another high of the day. 1734.20 just got printed 2 minutes ago there, and that is, I'm assuming, all-time highs because that's high a day. So great look there for AVGO, whoever was trading that. Keep in mind, this one is splitting, so if you're a retail investor and you want to get in on this, this is going to be a lot cheaper very soon, so just hang out for that. What else we got? VFS still doing awfully well on the day, 10.5 in the clear on the back. That it is forecasting 30 to 4 times an increase in its U.S. market share. The company expects sales in the U.S. market to increase by 30 to 4 times this year. That's intense, but yeah, we'll root them on. VFS definitely getting a nice little bump today, sub 5 though at this level. Let's see all the Chinese ADRs with no exception. There was one exception earlier. It was DIY, and now it is also break even on the day. Everything in Chinese Chinese ADR world is red circles. So whatever. Yeah, that's the look there, Dara. Anything else happening here? No, I'll send it to you.
Do you have any plans for your weekend other than the beach today?
Not that I've had a chance to think about. Yeah, how about yourself?
Not much. Gonna try to get some. I'm trying to think. Do I have plans? No, I think I'm gonna try to get some writing done.
Nice.
If I can, yeah, thank you. If I can meet up with some of my friends over the weekend, that would be nice as well. Also, there was something that I wanted to say, and oh yeah, okay, Adobe. Adobe was today's earnings darling, and I said I liked that short rejection. Didn't end up getting involved because it's Adobe, and I would have had to have like major confidence in this. But yeah, Adobe's still kind of rangy. It's not perfect, but you get around that 526 as a top, a base of around 524. Pretty sure Obi, I think, is a way better read on this one than I do, because I know he was mentioning this earlier. Also, Fabian and I were laughing over how funny it would have been had this Adobe happened if it was, well, it was Obi and I in the midday, because it would have been Adobe and Adobe. But alas, it did not. So also, I'm in the SPY. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette. Big Spile Burdette. Not sure if Big Kyle is short this name. I am, though. Why I got involved was because I liked this topping tail candle. I know candles aren't always going to be the thing for the futures, or ETFs of the futures, but I liked what I saw in the book. I thought that I had an opportunity here, so I wanted to take it. Got out 2/3 here at this, 541.80. I really wanted to see breakdown below 80s. We never really got below 80s, so that's not a great look. If we push above into like 15s, here, I'm gonna have to be getting out, but right now I am staying in, not adding, just trying to take advantage of some opportunities that you spy on these charts. Also, shout out to Tesla. Tesla saw me leave the Cybertruck and was like, okay, cool, Adara's out. Now I can have the real drop. I was like, okay, Tesla, that's fine. But yeah, big drop here. Shout out to someone in the chat who kept talking about, it's Fallen King, saying that Tesla's gonna hold that 178.50. You are right, Fallen King. It held that 178.60 for now. We're still having lower lows though. This is something lower highs, sorry. This is something I'm still interested in shorting again if we have another opportunity at 179, but I only trade on the show, so whatever trades I'm in, I'm not gonna get into anything else new or exciting right now, just watching my SPY. Also, we have Robbie V saying, GME is impressive above 2870 resistance from earlier and VU up and great rounded bottom. Could go positive on the day soon. Yeah, I mean, shout out to you, Robbie V. This was the level I said on GME would be interesting, the 2860, 2880, but you're right, 2870, that's definitely what the level is. Pushing higher, let's see what it does at VWAP. The next level of resistance I think could be spicy is the 29. A, it's a whole dollar level. B, it's that previous support. So let's see if GME can nudge us a little head here above that 29. Is there anything else you're looking at as we head into the rest of the day?
I'm keeping my eye on Apple over here because I kept talking about how it was making a move possibly into the half dollar. I kind of feel like the winds of change may be coming here. Look for a possible now retrace, either a rejection off the 50 or this. Well, we have a consolidation area bottom with the IB low and multiple other troughs at that 212 1/3. So 212 1/3 to 212 3/4, or sorry, 2/3 to 3/4, excuse me. I'd be looking for a rejection there first. If I don't get a rejection there, then I'd be looking at VWAP and 213, but it looks like it's on its way to that half dollar now. It's broken above the range, not on a closing basis yet, because this candle still hasn't closed. I would submit to you that this candle is still within the range, at least. So look for a rejection initially off the 50, then that 2/3 to 3/4, and then the $13 area. That's what I'd be looking for. I wouldn't want to go long on this name on the day. It feels like, you know, the sellers have been in control. That could change come the market on close though, because it's Friday. A lot of people could have market on close orders to get in a position on AAPL. The other one I wanted to mention, TSLA looks awfully bearish. Look at this rounded top with umpteen amount of wicks into that 179.50, 179 2/3, and then incrementally starts making lower highs. This looks like it's a rounded top in forming, I guess. I don't know exactly what to make of it though, because it just seems like more of a range trade than a rounded top, to be quite honest with you, even though it is making that bit move down. The initial range, I would say 178.50 in the earlier part of the day was 178.50 there. So we're right there at this point, but it looks like it's continuing to make lower lows. So TSLA looks like it's on the way down. Definitely the biggest loser on the day in terms of Mag 7 Worlds, 2.25%, followed by Apple, and then followed by Amazon, who is last there. Quietly, Netflix had itself a decent day today. especially as compared to some of these other Mag 7 names. Almost 3% in the clear today on NFLX. Is that an all-time high? Let's have a look over here. Yes, that is an, oh, nope. We have some pandemic plays. We're almost, okay, so all-time highs on Netflix, looks like it's at 700 and change. Looks like it's 701, $700.99 was that all-time high. That takes us back to November 18th. And that is, I think, the week that Jerome Powell said not transitory. Literally that week. So it did make all-time highs there. $700. That doesn't mean that this big break today isn't important because, well, it's 3-year highs. It's year-to-date highs, it's 3-year highs. So NFLX, 675.58 high of day. So we're looking to go possibly 680 here, Adara. But I'm going to send it to you as I'm going to make my way up to the green screen. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharif, for everything, for killing it with the lessons and everything. I'm always so happy, and I feel really lucky to be able to sit in this desk with Sharif. You're going to see him in 2 seconds, though. He will be on the green screen. Also, I really did laugh here at this message from Richard V. Plans, come on, guys. Review trades and watch videos of tape. That's all. Shout out to Richard V. Mind, eye on the prize. I got out of the SPY. Shout out to Eclectic Passion saying it turned out exactly that level I was talking about, that 542.12. My thing is, too, is we keep having these topping tail candles. I could have stayed lower, but what I said I really wanted was my 541.80 break. I wanted to see us break below that. Once we broke below that, I said, Adara, you're all good. You had what you needed to see. Microsoft, though, might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Microsoft is trying to coil higher here at that 443. We're still, for the most part, pretty much entirely seeing higher highs, higher lows. We broke below that 90 EMA here, but this is still a higher low. So let's see what we see. For now, though, we're going to have to wait and see what's going on at the big desk and with those big kahunas very shortly. But not right this second, though. Not right this second. I will still be chatting. You'll still be with me. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Hope you have an awesome day. I really want to shout out everyone in the chat. So happy to be here and a part of this community. And thank you very much to Bears vs. Bulls for everything you do. Hope your weekend is simply fantastic. Tesla, wow, Tesla RIP. This Cybertruck continuing to head to the downside. Let's see if it cracks below 178. You rock, Bears versus Bulls. It's a great time over here. What a time to be alive. That apple Sharif talked about is still trying. Maybe a little bit of a poison apple. Shout out to Ramin. We're going to have to see. We did reject that 212.50 once already. Who knows what's going to happen next? But I know what's going to happen next. You're going to be at the green screen. See you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Right now, though, we have everybody on that side. Let's go.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, everyone, where you get to decide what we talk about every day. Make sure to get your vote in during How to Trade on that midday show using the prompt there. I'm sure Bears versus Bulls will let you know how that works. So here are the triple Qs. The triple Qs, excuse me. We were just at high a day as we broke above, again, that 18.6 or 19.6, excuse me, on the NQG.